Yep. No. I'll tell you. I know exactly what's happened. It's fine. Yep. Yep. It did not save the sound settings from last time. You could hear me because I had a second mic, which it was trying to pick up, not this one. Um, long story short, debacle, nonsense, bullcrap. But I got my headset back. Woo me! But I didn't have a headset for a week and a bit.
Yeah. So, welcome. It's not a Stormy Dragon stream without some kind of scuff. That's why I'm here. We are the Stormy Dragon Home. We're playing Trials of the Xel'nari, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign with some custom rules in there, hidden sprinkled about. Nothing too big, but some things in there. I think we'll try and jump straight back into it. But as a quick little summarization, the party has been on the road for some time, attempting to resolve some official duties, some unofficial duties for their time with the Xel'nari. They've been away for a while, several months in fact, where they have been in mostly hostile territories, or not very welcoming territories. So it is the first time that they have stepped place into a city that is welcoming to the Xel'nari. It's also the largest city in Afindra, which is Tanzanite. It is a bustling, sprawling metropolis, and it is also home to Kovac and a new party member who has joined us, Xantix, who has replaced the lie while the lie is off attempting to
Better be temporary.
investigate and resolve the issues that have happened with his clan. Xantix is a slightly more senior member of the Xel'nari, and has stepped into the shenanigans that are happening with the party, as they have had some involvement at his camp where he was originally posted, which was abandoned, and no one seems to know exactly why, including himself.
It's wyverns.
He believes it to be wyverns. The party believes that he is full of shit. Though they do acknowledge that he is at least telling the truth as far as he knows. However, they have had some interactions with memory altering, and so they believe that could be a cause there. There was some interesting shenanigans where Mug was arrested last session for previous crimes that he did not commit. He was definitely involved in the shenanigans, but he did not commit the heinous crimes.
His alibi for murder was death.
He was he couldn't have done it. He was already dead. Whilst he was up to shenanigans, the shenanigans that he was accused of were not those ones. The party did manage to free him, though it did come at some cost, though not a cost that the party is potentially aware of just yet. Certain actions taken by the party may not have gone unnoticed.
We say party, we mean individual.
Individuals, potentially.
That guy was a bastard.
Everyone's a bastard.
Everyone's a bastard.
Yeah.
So, the party has reconvened. They were originally heading to the planetaria. Were you still looking to continue your way there?
What time of day is it now?
What time did we finish up again?
It was mid-afternoon or something.
Early morning.
Was it early morning?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I would say it'd be more akin to almost afternoon, with after us kind of going out and about and doing things, and with her walking. I'd say it'd be more an afternoon.
Well, so we
same day though, same day.
Mud cut to like
because we
they specifically waited overnight. Yeah, so it is the next day.
Yeah.
So it would be the morning of the next day. You've just
met
reconvened
with
with
the
Mug.
captain in the morning of the following day.
Yes, you've just reconvened with Mug, and you're good to go.
Long rest is what I'm hearing.
And after we reconvened, Kovac received a rather ominous letter that was left at the Xel'nari HQ.
Do you want to remind everyone of that ominous letter?
It was penned by no one in particular. or at least it didn't say that it was written by an individual, but it said,
Hydrate.
Oh god.
"You looked very out of place in the bar. Has the game begun again? I have missed you." Which, unfortunately, by no uncertain terms, has likely been written by Kovacs Moriarty.
Yes.
Nemesis.
She has a nemesis who she was never actually able to catch while she was a part of the force in Tanzanite. So
Now, of course, Kovac would know that your nemesis has been quite fond of these kind of messages, antagonizing and goading you on. You immediately recognize the handwriting. They have taken absolutely no regard whatsoever to try and disguise themselves. In fact, they are clearly wanting to let you know that they know you're back and they want to
Guess who's
up the ante.
Back again.
okay,
Kovacs back.
I
But
think
you have just managed to. I'll put you up into the court sector because that's where you would have just
Oh,
Uh,
right. If we're
left
moving
out
things on the
with-
map, I will transition us to the map screen.
left out, having just rescued Mug from prison.
yes,
Although he probably could have done it himself.
I think Kovac would
No,
have.
I could have broken out of jail by committing more crimes.
We wanted to keep him honest.
I
For now.
don't. I don't think Kovac told anyone about the fact that the letter was left for her. She's just trying to maintain her cool and focus on the task at hand.
All right.
And yes, if we could still go to the planetarium, I think the plan was for us to make contact with home base.
No other interruptions along the way.
It seems rather important to get done. That seems possible.
Well, I would like to establish that Mug does give everyone a big hug for helping him.
The main reason why I ask if there are any interruptions along the way is the simple fact that you are heading through the education sector. That would be the most direct route to the planetaria, which means you would be passing past the Videl.
Are we going to have to?
I don't.
I was just wondering about whether we have to drag Kovac physically past the libraries.
Kovac knows full well that she can talk to her parents a bit later, and they know that she's focused on the job. So she is happy to wait until after we report back to HQ to see her parents.
Alrighty. So you are making your way through town, not downtown. I know you're all keen to go on to that. Heading through the education sector, which is, as you would expect, there is a number of different libraries and schools here for different levels of education. Kovic, you know that there are a few scattered throughout the rest of the city as well, but none are as prestigious as the ones put aside in this sector. Here is a place for innovation, where all the top minds study on improving the city and the outerlying parts of Barivia, which is why the Videlkins have been given their own quarter within. As you make your way out into the textiles district, the peace and quiet of the education sector is broken up by the sounds of hard labor happening, machinery operating. The one thing you may notice as you walk past a few of the open house workshops is that a number of them seem to have a line of pulley systems running along their roof that have wheels constantly spinning with bands across them. And you notice that when one of the smiths or laborers here wishes to activate a machine, they pull a lever and it seems to pull across a wheel that then activates the machine. It's a continuous motion that then just takes some of that power. You can't see from where you are what is actually causing these machines to operate. You can just see these wheels constantly spinning around with a seemingly limitless amount of energy behind them, and they disappear into the roofs or into the grounds of the buildings. It's something that you've never seen before, a way of operating things. A lot of stuff that you would normally see done manually or potentially with horses running cranes or machines, or even magic apparatuses running it, is seemingly run by this strange contraptions, which is very unique to Tanzanite.
I see that the rollout has been very widespread. Good.
Yes, they've done quite well in implementing the works.
Indeed. And so the boiler works would be there. And I assume that there would be like visible steam coming from a building's roof.
Actually, surprisingly enough, you can't see any steam stacks.
Oh,
You imagine that there
think about
should be
this.
steam stacks, but you knowing how the system works, running off steam power, you would imagine that there would be boiler rooms above ground. But you do remember that there was some talk before you had left of potentially putting them in the mines underneath the boilers and making massive central hubs and tapping into the thermal vents below. It seems that they were successful to some regard.
I see. I will share this very tour guide style with the party and just go. The tone is simultaneously very matter of fact, and also, isn't my town great?
There's definite pridefulness there and a little tiny bit of show offishness there. Not like massive, but it's like, I mean, my city has it. I don't know about your city, but my city definitely does. It's like,
of course.
Storm is just like hiding in her cloak a little bit, just like.
Still hidden away under the hood, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sam's actually taking quite a fair deal of interest in this. It's like, oh, okay, that's actually quite interesting. Like thinking, oh, maybe they, instead of the steam going up, it's being used to like heat certain areas of the town and the things instead, or
Yes, indeed.
chiming in a little bit.
Hey, Storm, are you okay in this city? You look like you're trying to hide a bit.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go around in the cloak, I can make you invisible for an hour.
It's okay. Save your magic. I just don't want to be. Well, I am concerned that my unique physicality will be a point of reference for if someone comes looking for us in this city. I kind of stand out more than the rest of you.
If you ever do need to be invisible, let me know.
Yeah, I appreciate
But
this.
if you're gonna do something illegal, I'll make you invisible. We don't need that hassle twice in 2 days.
I don't think I need to do anything illegal. I only wish to make purchase here while I am here, but that is something I will do later with Thug. You can come too if you like.
Is it more fireworks?
Do you know where to get some?
Because if it is, well,
This is our version of, do you want some skooma?
If you want anything, just go to the Black Cauldron. Someone there will sell you it.
The Black Cauldron. Oh, Thug, we went there earlier yesterday, didn't we?
By Thog, do you mean Mug?
No, Thug. Thug is here too.
That was the place we met up last night.
Yeah. Does anyone there sell?
That we're probably not so welcome back to anymore. And
You know
he
what,
just
Thug?
stares at Cove.
Cove.
You
She
know,
is not paying attention. And is
Okay,
just-
what happened?
Well, somebody decided to use the magic stuffs in the middle of the Black Cauldron. Now my favorite drinking hole is out of bounds to me, more than likely.
There are much better drinking holes in Tanzanite.
You take that back.
No, there's really not.
Raise the bar.
Yeah, both half orcs turn to face you, shoulder to shoulder.
It's like,
Storm's gonna
the
put
look
a
of
hand
disgust.
on either of their shoulders and go, "Don't worry, we will make sure we fix this."
You would also hear the Ghost of Fly's voice going, "You're wrong."
Puts a hand on each of the half orc shoulders. We will fix this. Don't worry.
Hmm.
We will make amends and make sure they know that we are sorry and that it was a mistake. Don't worry, Thog. We will
I
get
don't
you your
know,
drinking hole back.
Gribbs is known to hold a
So-
bit of a grudge.
Does he like things? Is there things that we can offer him in exchange for apologies?
I mean, he likes money.
I
Most
have
people
that.
like money.
I don't have any use for it besides fireworks, so...
But fireworks is a good use.
Yeah,
Speaking
but I
of-
don't want to spend
Hmm.
all of my coin on fireworks.
Why not? Money is useless to you, and you like fireworks more than money.
I do, this is true. We will see how many fireworks I can buy, and then we will
Sarah-
see how much is
Xerxes
left.
is just watching this exchange with like horror on his face of like,
This is the reason why Sam's just there, like half dead behind the eyes, just being like, "Yes, money is unimportant. You only like fireworks." Mhm.
Speaking of making amends, Kovac says, trying really hard to change the subject. It was observed a certain amount of tension occurring between Storm and Xantix yesterday. It seems like continuing said tension would be ultimately inefficient and a waste of time. So I thought perhaps the two of you could resolve your differences.
"Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," I say as I pull out a pipe and
And Storm
Stop puffing on it.
pointedly doesn't look in their direction. I don't know what you're talking about either.
Apparently, no one understands
I don't know
English.
what you're
so
talking
common
about, but
anymore.
I can guess.
Yes.
Thog just leans over to Mug and is like, "So, I don't know if you know, because I'm not sure how long you're in jail, but the lie got squished, and now he's going around calling himself Zanzix or something like that."
I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Mm.
I think he might have hurt his brain.
You get a reply in Orcish saying, "There's a good chance Thalai might have hurt his brain, but that little one is not Thalai."
Sure. Because I asked that
yeah.
last night and no one gave me a real proper straight answer. And so I just, he's...
Well, you know them. If they think something's funny, they'll go with it. It's the only reason I'm still here.
That makes a lot of sense, really.
Just sounds
glad
like
you're
putting
here.
a thumb up.
You're a good voice of reason.
Not
Like a voice of
something I'm
reason.
accused of often. But if that little one helped me out, then he's okay in my book.
He did. He seems to be quite smart. Knows his way around the city a bit.
He's not another book reader, is he?
No, he likes the boomy stuff.
Okay. Oh. Someone who reads books and likes to blow things up. Now, that is a dangerous combination.
Yeah, it's like if Kovac and Storm had a love child. That's exactly what that would be.
Storm just looks at him with a death glare.
This is in Orcish.
Oh, okay. On that case, you're safe. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Because otherwise, Storm would be
You would
furious.
see a reaction from Mug where he just looks at Storm and Kovac and just goes, I don't see that happening.
You would probably see written inside like a small personal notebook. Kobik is his writing to do. Learn Orcish.
But you make your way through the textiles district. Most of the roads here, instead of being crowded with people going about purchasing and like the market was, most of the roads here are taken up by carts being dragged about back and forth, relaying resources such as wood, stone, and other such to the different buildings here. They seem to be mostly coming from the Eastern Port District and coming down through the main road and then diverting off. But as you make your way southeast, you can see just slightly at the top of the walls the upper floors of the planetaria, which is a almost entirely marble structure. It's quite wide at the base, but then thins out a little bit as it makes its way up, and then there is a larger observatory platform up there. The observatory platform itself is about 3 stories tall. The entire building looks to be about 20 stories, so it is quite a big structure. As you make your way through the gates, again, having to check your passes as you were through every checkpoint, you're immediately met by peacefulness. There is, you can still hear behind you the sounds of the city, but out here on the other sides of the walls, there is the sound of wind and ocean. It's a lot more peaceful out here. Though the road is quite wide, there doesn't seem to be any obvious actual walls or safety supports to stop you from just running and jumping off the edge. It seems that they assume that people will be smart enough not to do that.
How high up are we?
You're about 30 stories from the ocean.
So it's on a raised platform?
And
no, so this entire area is about 30 stories. Like the entirety of Tanzanite is about 30 stories above the ocean.
Oh, I got
hence
you.
The crane
right.
networking.
Yep.
in modern terms, each story is 3 meters or 10 feet.
Yeah, about 10 feet. So you're a good distance up. A fall from this height would most certainly be fatal.
For anyone except Kobik.
Team, bear in mind, I can cast Featherfall. Don't make me have to. As we are walking past the most skinny part of this.
It whilst it is skinny, it's still more than wide enough for a handful of carts to be side by side with each other. It's not a small path at all. It is quite large. You notice that the area... Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you again. You notice the area around the planetarium seems to be a fairly... I wouldn't say necessarily well kept, but definitely managed garden of sorts, where a whole number of different flora and fauna seem to be cultivated in this area. So someone clearly caretakes the grounds around the planetaria. As you step up towards the building, you notice that there is a distinct difference between the people here and in the rest of the city, in that all of them are dressed in some form of robes with slight distinctions between them, which seems to indicate some level of area of study. And by the looks of it, a large number of them seem to be wizards or sorcerers of some description. As you make your way up the stairs, you are definitely drawing looks from the crowd, who are not quite as used to heavily armored individuals coming up this way.
We're not heavily armored, I don't think.
In comparison to people in robes, yeah, you are.
Fair. Oh, well, Storm isn't, but the
armed
rest,
and
yeah.
armor.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely have weapons. I don't think many of them are wearing huge amounts of armor, though.
Well, Mark, didn't you get, like, full plane?
Yes, but he hasn't, like, sorted that out and adjusted the straps and stuff.
Okay.
And being a recently released criminal doesn't want to like antagonize the guard.
I would say they probably would recognize Xantix, as Xantix does
Yes.
come here so often to make reports back to HQ.
There's also a number of them who'd also recognize Kovic, although when Kovic left the city, the planetaria was still under construction, so it is being finalized now.
It's brand new and I think I think Kovic is just going to be kind of mouth open, going, oh.
Storm's leaning over the
This
edge,
is-
looking
this
straight
is
down into the
nice.
water.
It has that new building smell still.
With the
To smell
old
that
book smell
brickwork.
combined with it.
Now, Xantix, you know that on the third floor is the apparatus that you were looking for.
Yep.
And so you can make your way through. You're not challenged or stopped anyway. There seems to be a public space where people can come and go. You can hear off as you go up the stairs. You can hear off in different directions that there seems to be small lecture halls where some lectures are happening or studies are happening, which you probably have to rope Kovac along a few times as she walks past them and possibly gets distracted by them.
Oh.
Storm is poking her ears to eavesdrop on as many conversations as possible.
Come along, Korvek. You'll have lots of spare time after.
Advanced talking. Oh.
You've got time after, and you can make appointments.
Yes.
Just for the record,
Also, why are we here?
To
Wait.
report back to the HQ.
What are we doing here again?
Well,
Oh.
I have to make my weekly report, and because you're with me, you can also make your own separate reports. Seeing it's been so long since you've reported back to HQ.
So there
Won't
is
Varda be there in a week or two?
Yes.
Possibly, but it doesn't hurt to have things prepared.
So you were informed that there is a sort of two-way scrying device that has been recently added to the planetaria as part of an experiment that Hollis from the Xel'nari has been experimenting with, a sort of telecommunications device of sorts.
My gosh, groundbreaking.
That is entirely run off magic, however. So as you make your way up, you come to a small door that has the symbol of the Xel'nari upon it, and Xantix, you do have a key to access this room. And then upon stepping inside, it is a rather small room. There is a number of quite comfortable looking like sofas or couches to sit down upon, and then a single table sits in the center of the room, and upon that is what seems to be a large crystal ball with what seems to be swirling purple gases within it.
Interesting. Xantix, how does this work exactly?
Well, you sit at the table and you put your hands and you'll see the specific spots to put your hands, and you look into the cube, the bowl, and what else did we have to do, Ash? Sorry.
It's
really
just
briefly
speak
on
the
this.
command words, basically.
Oh yes,
It
and
is
then you need to speak the command merge, which is quack.
quack.
Or
Pick out the
which is dial-up.
Kovac, they are true facts.
I mean, dial-up is still.
You know what? I'm going with it. It's canon now.
Canon. It's now dial-up.
Well, you folks go first, as my report will be a bit brief. So,
Oh, we
You-
said
you take
roll
this
over
one.
time.
you folks take the spot for now, and then I will go at the end.
There is a small flash from the orb as it seems to, whatever the spell is, seems to ignite, and it seems to thrum for a bit. It takes about a minute or two before something happens, where slowly the clouds start to take form and an image starts to appear, and you see a man dressed in Xel'nari uniform. You can only just see the top of it. You're basically just seeing his upper torso, but you see a man in Xel'nari uniform standing before the orb. Hello. Xantix, time for your weekly report, is it? A bit early.
Oh, no, well, yes, but, I have other members of the Xel'nari who wish to report it to HQ, and thought this would be the quickest
Hello?
way for them to do so. I have,
Is Barda
Gabriel.
there?
Barda? No, Barda has not arrived here. I
Okay.
believe she is still away on personal business for the moment.
Yes, I have, Kovac.
No, she's away on Giant Turtle.
I have
Personal
Kovac
business,
and her squad here to report in. They have some disturbing news. They wish to have
Kovac like that very much.
Well, Kovac, you come take
Oh,
spot.
Kovac, no, one moment. And he disappears from view for a moment. You can hear some kind of
Is that a
scuffling in the
restraining
room.
order?
Kovac, Kovac, you take a seat right here, and you'll be able to see and hear the best from here.
And then
Okay.
it sounds far off away from the orb, like someone's talking from a distance, but you hear, "Oh, what? Why have you bothered me? I told you not to bother me unless it was important." Look, Kovac, all right. And then a familiar face of Hollis steps into the scene. Fantastic. Good to see you. How have you been?
Hollis, we have had a
Mirror
rather...
Man!
Oh, it looks like most of the group is all
Hello.
there. Hello,
Yes.
how are you all?
We have had a rather challenging journey, but we are glad to have arrived in Tanzanite. How are you?
Good. How do you find the scrying device? It's a new invention of mine. It allows two-way communication instantaneously.
It is very clear. I'm quite impressed.
It
Yes,
reminds me of the mirror that you were stuck in. Are you sure you're not stuck in there?
Well, actually, funny you should say such a thing. It is actually derived from similar magics. I have been able to perfect the technology, incorporate it in with the same kind of magics as the sending stones, but gone are the days where we'll be able to need to use the sending stones. This is a vast improvement, as you can imagine. It also is not restricted by such brevities. Having said that, there is still a limit at the moment. It can only go for half an hour, so we do have to be as brief as possible,
Of
but
course.
it does allow a little bit more communication and organization.
Excellent. To sum things up, and Kovac will spend 5 minutes briefly summarizing our journey from our departure to all the demonic shenanigans. I'm sure people will be
I feel like it'll be
interjecting here and
more
there.
15 minutes, considering how long and how much has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are the key points you bring up, and what are information that you omit?
Check in to make sure that the Demu princess and her entourage made it back to HQ safely.
Yes, they did.
Mentioned the considerable amount of encounters we've had with demons during our travels.
Storm will share her theory. Well, or her concerns about them targeting small, isolated civilizations.
Yes.
And to be weary because those affected may not know that they are affected.
Indeed. Also, we'll make a point of mentioning that the Kalashtar were making plans of striking out against the other nations. I think that they were also planning on launching an attack on the Xel'nari, or were going to take advantage of the fact that the Grandmaster would be retiring to do something. I think I overheard that. Yeah.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, I don't recall a Kalashtar attack.
No, it's not happening. I think I sent Wisteria up to a high window in the...
I vaguely
Castle?
remember this, and I think it was the demon that was controlling the Kalishtar talking to someone, and some plans that they had.
Which
But
presumably, actually, we can't tell if we got all.
which we don't know, so
Unsure, but yes, just include all that. Include the epic nautical chase scene, the Kraken.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
There's no one but asking say things that happened on the island. I think Koek would include the whole. Oh yeah, Storm's dad's a god.
And Storm will just shrug.
Um,
The one thing you notice as you were saying all of this is that
And
very
she'll-
much like Kovac, Hollis is clearly not even looking at you as you were speaking. He is writing every single piece down as quickly as he possibly can.
Storm will
to
also
get this.
mention the cursed item that was placed in Thalai.
hmm. Yes.
Did
So,
you know? That's my socks. Thank you.
I don't think anything is omitted from our adventures.
There would be, I think,
Do
some.
you explain about the dream?
I think that's the one thing we would probably omit
Why?
because that
'Cause it
is.
involves a Grandmaster of the Order?
Well, we're talking to someone who can directly speak to the Grandmaster.
We've
so
already
what-
shared all of this information with Barda. Barda will pass that on when she gets there. I feel like that's information that we wouldn't share.
Okay, so
I think that would be the less people we interact and tell that knowledge to, the better.
okay,
Bardo,
so,
100% we know we can trust, as far as we're concerned.
so
Alas, we say from a mirror, because he's a man who likes to tinker with magic.
so
We tell him a magic dream, he wants to go inside our magic brain, maybe.
So-
Who knows?
let's say like Kovac has basically her notes open. She gets to the page that's the dream, holds it up and kind of gives a should we expression, and then
In your head, you'll just get the...
Hmm.
for now, let's hold that off.
yeah, so because people don't want it shared, she won't.
So Hollis does not interrupt you, lets you speak everything before waiting for you to finish. Finishes making a few notes and then. So you'll be happy to know that your dear Demo friends have made it safely and have organized a sort of a treaty of sorts where they have moved their way southwards for the moment with the remaining members. Where they are organizing to get any other sympathizers, where they will head to Scanratch and make a base of sorts temporarily outside there, where it would be safe from the demo and able to organize their next steps. Mug, you're keen to know that she has. She said that she wanted to pass on the message that she has taken great thought into what you have said, but she thinks that the best course of action is to consolidate her power, and then when the time is right, perform a diplomatic movement, I believe was the word she used. She does not wish for bloodshed. She will attempt to do it peacefully.
A diplomatic movement. Great way to describe a coup.
Yes, but being politics is what it is. I'm not so keen on the words myself, but that is what she has gone for. As she said, she
I'll be in
wishes
contact
to
with her
avoid
as well.
bloodshed. As for Storm, your people, you said.
Yeah.
Most interesting. You say they are on their way here.
Yeah.
Aren't
They
some
are
already here?
they are making their way to the Xel'nari upon Wenua.
Intriguing. I will organize a away party immediately, as I will wish to study the creature and speak with them. It's most fascinating.
You will need magics to speak with most of them. They are not of the common tongue.
Oh, that is not a problem. And he taps a necklace around his neck. Quite capable of being able to speak with all languages.
Ooh! And so
No-
she
no
turns
problem.
into talking to him in cat now. Goes, does that mean you could still understand me when I do this? And all you guys hear is meow,
And he replies in that yes, of course, naturally, it changes seamlessly between the two.
wow, that is incredible. And then she starts speaking primordial, which she's discovered that she can speak. He goes, what about this one? Which is way
He
more
blinks around
guttural
and he goes,
and confusing.
You speak primordial. That is intriguing.
Oh yeah,
It's
I don't.
a fairly lost language.
Oh, well, apparently I inherited it. Inherently know it because of my father. He is a djinn.
Interesting to be able to understand it simply by birth rather than being taught. Intriguing. And he starts
Sorry,
scribbling it away for a moment.
just to get us back onto topic, we're starting to lose a bit of track, especially as we only have limited time.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh yes, of course.
So,
Yes, so they are on their way here. Cool. I will organize expedition for that. No problem.
They have very little understanding of the common culture, so please bear that in mind.
I am sure that the archivist will be most intrigued with them, and so will wish to join as well. Now, as for demon sightings, you may have been made aware. I'm sure Xantix has passed on some information that things have been escalating. It is unfortunate for me to say that we have lost one away team to such a sighting. It's very unfortunate. It is stretching our resources thin. What with the Marans poised to go to war at any moment, we have been able to bring them to the table temporarily, but the talks are strenuous at best at the moment. The demo are insisting that they had no involvement, but the Namarans have provided ample amounts of proof of such a thing. And it has been unfortunate in this regard, as we have been unable to convince the Namarans that perhaps something else is at play here. They are insistent that the demo are to blame, and that the demo are pretending that nothing has happened is just pure ignorance. Unfortunately,
could you send some undercover? Could you send some undercover people to investigate the demo? And Emperor is being influenced by demonic forces.
We have two agents currently within the Demo Empire who are working diligently for that exact reason. They have been able to provide us with the information that we have so far, in that there is clear acts of mobilization for war, even while talks of potential peace are being discussed. It is clear that unless we step in soon, then all that war will break out.
Storm will lean forward and
different...
sort of whisper to him and go, also, we suspect that the demons are trying to take over places of power. This might be one of them. I don't know if they are aware of the possibilities, but they seem to be targeting the Xel'nari. I feel like
we
there
had
is
come
a
to a similar
connection.
conclusion.
So, I think we need to be careful of this and maybe look into who we can trust.
the fact that we survived our encounter in the mountains at all is concerning.
Yeah, they might be hot on our trail.
Which encounter and which mountains?
Also, just to note, the item
Fair.
in which we found was inside Xel'nari. When Kovac identified it, we discovered that it was
It
not...
explodes.
Well, yes, it explodes in your face. Do not identify it. But also, its scrying magic is not protected by the Xel'nari defenses.
Yes.
The
The
magic,
non
the magic we had in the place was not stopping it from being scryed upon.
yes. The non-detection spell in play in the Xel'nari headquarters in Tanzanite will have been insufficient. It's possible that a spell of forbiddance might do a better job, but that is purely speculation at this stage.
Intriguing. That would mean that it runs on a similar sort of magics as this device itself does. A way of forcing, a way of link even through barriers. Intriguing.
We have been storing it inside lead box, inside pocket space. What is pocket space called again?
An extra-dimensional plane.
Space. Yes.
Yes, yes.
That one, yeah.
Yes, a wise decision, as that will sever any connection. Even this device is incapable of speaking through the planes currently, although I do wish to intend upon fixing it, although I still need to solve the problem of multiple devices exploding, but that's another problem for another day. So you shall know, things have deteriorated a bit. We have sent an expedition to the southwest, to the lands of KL for the Elven Kingdoms, as they have severed all communications, and there has been no way of getting in contact with any of our agents within the Elven Kingdoms. So we are most concerned of what has happened
That
there.
is very concerned. Also, did you get any reports as to why the Xel'nari were not at the camp that is at the base of the mountain? The ones that would normally be with the
Goliaths.
tribe.
Yes, it is yet one of our outposts that have gone silent of the recent months, and we have dispatched members as much as possible to investigate. That is why we have your friend right there, in fact. Xantix is a member of the group that was there, but he insisted that it was the work of wyverns that dispatched his members.
See, we think there is many things that do not add up with this story. We believe Xantix believes exactly what he says, but we do not believe that he is sure of what he says.
As is known, I was checked for any curses upon me and was found to be clear.
Yes.
Yes, we have checked to see if any memories had been modified, and it did not seem to be the case.
I still do not
That's
believe that this is the full story. It does not add up.
Mug, you can. Sorry.
That's it. Go.
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 Ah, yeah. Sam will see into Mug's head like, Mug, can't you do that memory delving thing with your brain?
Yeah, I can read someone's thoughts. It might be good to do that in private instead of on a conference call.
Oh, not saying that, like, again, you're aware, like, not like here and now, but like as a thing going forward. And also, while Sam is in the mode, we'll pop a message to Kovac. We did warn people that the giant, like, sea turtle island thing was coming to land in places, right?
Storm has done that already.
Are we sure?
I believe they were avoiding Tanzanite. They were just sending like a boat across or something.
They dropped off a couple of people at Tanzanite, but that's it. Otherwise, they are making their way to the Xel'nari.
Yeah. Okay.
And as far as most people will see, there is a storm around the island still. It is nowhere near as severe as it used to be, but there is a storm still around it.
It's just enough to obscure the island, not enough
Correct.
to stop
So
people from coming in and out.
Yeah, it will simply look like there is a storm moving through the ocean, which would deter most people normally anyways, but it is nowhere near severe anymore to destroy ships that pass into it. Unless, they're not observant and happen to run a land. Then, that's going to destroy them.
Do we have any orders? Do we have any orders from HQ at this time?
Not at this time. Well, I'm not really one to pass on orders anyways. I can find out if there is anything. We were not quite expecting you to be in Tanzanite, but I can definitely pass the message up the ranks and find out for you.
If it helps at all, we did have intentions of traveling to the Western continent, so it may be within our scope to investigate the Elven Kingdoms while we are there.
Ah, yes, you were intending to chase down the culprit Thimblefingers, if I remember correctly, was the report. Yes, I did have
Bad
something on
bard.
that here. One moment. Yes. We had agents spot him in Tanzanite. Unfortunately, they were unable to arrest him. He was able to make his way aboard a vessel and has escaped west. I thought I would update you on that. Not exactly the news that you wish to know, but news nonetheless.
It is helpful. It confirms our theories.
He was seen traveling with 2 others.
I completely lost track of the conversation because I got excited talking about socks with Risky.
That is
As-
an
as-
entirely in-character sentence to say.
Mhm.
Do we, from our memory, how many escaped from the Battle of the Bands that we interrupted?
4, I think.
As far as you know, only 2 managed to escape.
2? Did we capture
Yeah.
the
Yes.
rest?
Yeah, I
Captured
Orange
or killed the
died.
rest.
Yeah, we had
Ah.
one we thought was Thimblefingers, but turned out to be his Duke in Disguise kid.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
that's right.
So may have acquired another accomplice.
Or there may have been an accomplice in the underground hidden lab that managed to escape as well. You're not sure.
Hmm.
Oh, Ash,
But as far as Thog had advised you, you only knew
Oh,
of 2. So yes, you believe that there is a 3rd accomplice now that has come into the group.
do you want to move our characters down to the planetaria?
Yes.
Please.
There's a lot of cows and chickens in this planetary.
I can fix that if you wish.
It's just at this point, it's just funny.
Let's go with this. If it wants to start.
Ooh, camel key.
So, if you can contact the bosses, your superiors at Xel'nari HQ, and we can check in tomorrow to see if any new orders and if all of our promotions have come through.
Promotions? I don't know of any promotions.
Well, surely the task that this group has done is earned promotions, and your bosses would be wise enough to recognize that. So instead of asking for them, I'll just expect they should be there sooner or later.
I'll get you to roll me.
Can someone roll the dice and add 12 to it?
Jesus Christ.
I can roll a dice. Let me do it. Let me do it.
You can do it. Go for it. I don't even have my dice out now that you've said that. I'm gonna pull
Roll.
out my dice.
And plus what to it?
12. Bard is talky person.
I'm bad at math. 25.
25.
Oi.
He looks at you with a bit of a frown and goes, well, so that may be your opinion. You are not a member of the Xel'nari. Not officially yet. Though you do seem to have had some skill about you going off the stories that you have just told. Promotions are handed out when the peers seem fit. Whilst I do not doubt that your actions have been very noble and incredibly skilled, I am not the one to state whether or not a promotion is at hand, but it is always up for review. It is not just handed out willy-nilly. Now, I noticed, Kovac, there was a moment you paused. You held your book up and seemed to get the insight of the rest of the group. There is something you do not wish to share?
Storm will step forward on that one and go, we felt it was for sensitive ears only. It is confidential, I think, this one, but Barda is on her way to give an update of anything we may have missed. She will make sure the right people get the information.
Very well, if you deem it to be sensitive enough that I should not be informed, then that is the case.
We just think the less people who know is better.
I understand. I hope that it does not hinder you in any way, shape, or form. Well, for the moment, I would say have some much-deserved rest and relaxation within Tanzanite. You could not be safer there.
I do have a question, though.
Yes, of course.
What can you tell us about the Grandmaster? How has he been lately?
Truth be told, I have not had much interactions with him of late since my induction. I have been, holed up within my studies, and I do not deal with the politics as such. I just hear whispers back and forth, and I knew that at some point, Kovac would definitely be drawn to the planetaria, and I had made it known that when she did, I would be informed. And so I am here, and I decided to grab your notes, and so pass on the messages for you.
Excellent.
What have there been any strange whispers of the Grandmaster of late?
No, not that I can think of, anyways. I mean, he is a busy man at the moment. Things are kind of getting a bit out of control. There is a lot going on.
What about Cass? How is she? Is she doing well?
Cass?
His
I don't-
granddaughter.
Oh, the girl who was part of your party for a bit of your training. She left when you left. I thought you knew this.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't imagine she has been back.
Oh, I thought
She turned away from the Xel'nari.
You have not.
There's been no word of her.
There has been no word at all?
No word at all.
This concerns me.
I mean this in the nicest possible way, Halas, but if there had been word, I suspect that you are not an individual well positioned to intercept it.
No, of course not. I mean, I am still only just slightly official member. I kind of see myself more as an advisor anyways. I mean, I do understand the virtues of the
It's a good job
Xel'nari.
to have.
Yes, but I have not taken the induction training as you lot have. I am more on as an advisory role, but they give me a lab and I'm allowed to experiment, and so it's good for me.
Indeed.
That is fair.
Is there anything else you wish to report? Anything you have missed out?
I don't think
How much
so.
time is there in this call?
Probably only a few minutes left.
Would it be possible for me to requisition access to the means and resources required for me to learn the spell teleportation circle? I believe it is currently within my purview at this time, and it would be a great asset to our team and the organization at large.
I will put forward your requisition, and I will let you know tomorrow when I have more information for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
In response to your question of if we have omitted anything, we may need to regroup and double check our information, and we can do another report later on should we find that we have missed anything.
Very well. I'm going. And it suddenly cuts off. The swirls breaking up.
In Kovic's head, that was a "I'm trying to save us" face, just in case we do reveal this later.
It's fine. He did seem a little put out by our unwillingness to share everything, but I trust he understands.
We'll see.
We have already shared with him more than
More than
most.
absolutely required.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Only so that it might get to the right people quickly enough.
And Kovac,
Yes?
if you do get that teleportation spell,
Yes?
I just thought of a way that you might make amends so that we can go back to the Black Cauldron. You're not adverse to smuggling, are you?
I'm extremely averse to all crime.
So you're adverse to using magic in an illegal way. Is that what you're saying? Or are you just adverse to using magic in an illegal way when it's not benefiting you?
I think you can probably guess what my answer to that would be.
Well, then. Perhaps would it be more feasible if you consider it less a crime and more an apology for being rude?
If apologizing requires me to commit a crime, I will not be doing that.
Okay, what if you don't know that there's a...
No. You seem to really want me to do something rather specific, and I'm not interested in humoring this this line of hypothetical, Mug.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if you've made a mistake, you should go to some steps to try and rectify it, shouldn't you?
I do understand that Grizz may have been offended by my conduct in his tavern. However, I'm yet to hear from him directly.
Kovac,
You don't want that.
you should be trying to make amends before it is a problem. You do realize what you did in there, don't you? You
I
disrespected the establishment and its patrons.
I opened the door to some very interesting and educational encounters.
I do understand that getting you to admit that you've made a mistake is difficult, but perhaps we should start there. Do you think what you did was right?
From a certain point of view.
Kovac.
Even Xantus
Okay.
is looking a bit askew at you about that.
Kovac.
Do you think they have the right to be upset?
Yes.
Do you want your actions to affect the rest of us?
No.
Negatively, that is.
No.
Do you think you should go towards making amends?
No.
So you don't think that you should make amends for your actions when other people may face the consequences?
Kovac. Where
There's
are
a
your
bit of
sense of... Kovac, where are
Should we
your
be
sense
doing
of
this?
morals?
Should we do this in the middle of a Xel'nari thing?
There's no one else in the room.
I will sit on that thought and get back to you, Mug. I am. Yes, I will ponder your inquiries.
Well, another thing is, being that you are full Xel'nari and I am not, if I was to follow your lead and use magic in a way that was A, rude, and B, probably illegal, and not care about the consequences to other people, that would just be correct behavior, wouldn't it? Following the moral compass of those who have trained in such things.
Kovac,
And then I can leave it to you to deal with the consequences of what I get up to, and you don't want that burden.
Kovac, what if I stole a book from the library? What if I burnt the book from the library?
There are too many analogies, and they're all going in very different directions.
I understand that the general consensus from you all is that the actions that I took in the tavern were improper.
They were irresponsible.
But you believe you are smarter than us, and therefore you have rejected our assumptions.
I will take the time
That's a yes.
to consider your points and get back to you.
Kovac, sometimes I realize that you are incredibly intelligent, but that you lack the wisdom to understand the circumstances of the people around you. It might be something worth looking at.
I considered that the benefits outweighed the risks at the time.
No, they did not.
My assessment may have been incorrect.
They were very incorrect. I think we are going to be in big trouble should we need to... I think we are going to be in big trouble. He seemed very pissed off.
I did not see the face of the person who I have apparently wronged as I was leaving.
Yes, you were too
You said it
busy
was
being
Gribbs,
bitten
right?
by a turtle.
Oh yeah, because they want to know who you are.
And they sent somebody over to be all like, "Hello, I am Shady Person from Shady Family. You should make a deal." And I said no.
I think that's two separate things.
Do you?
I don't think they are related. The person in the bar is one problem. This other person is another problem. And then the turning that dwarf lady into another thing is a separate problem.
Oh,
Look,
and
it makes
she...
this. Whatever this is. Yeah, I unfortunately just one thing after a thing after a thing. Yeah, I if I remember correctly, Ash, was it me and was it Storm who noticed, or was it just Storm who noticed the person being? Get me the name of that Vidalcan.
I believe it was both of you.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't overstepping. Because I was like, oh yeah, I remember this information. Wait, was that meta knowledge? Yeah. So it's considering that one didn't know who you were, and then this one over here did. I don't think they are in league of each other. They are two separate entities. However, I've got a nasty feeling that this one over here is going to be a bigger, nastier problem because he already seems to have hit their foot, finger, face in a lot of things.
From the sound of it, there are two people that are powerful that have reason to not like you for different reasons.
One in the underworld, yeah, and one.
Yes. The other didn't like us because we were attempting to solve a crime which, if solved to its completion, would have exonerated Mug
implicated
while implicating them. So
yeah,
that with that individual, I was not interested in striking any kind of deal.
Oh, I don't blame you for this one over here in the slightest. They were a dick. Do not like them at all, but we do need to kind of work out something. It's this one over here. That was because of the polymorph.
Look, you need to remember that just because magic is normal and an everyday activity for you, that doesn't mean it is the correct solution in every situation. Also, it is not considered a normal solution for most people.
Actually, it kind of is, unfortunately.
No, it
depends
is not.
Depends where you go in the country. No, it really depends where you go in the country.
No.
Most people don't consider their aid plan to be turn them into a turtle.
No, but you've got charm person. You've got hold people in place. You've got reading minds.
But Sam, we are very skilled and trained professionals at what we do. The average person... The average person does not use these things every day.
Trained professionals.
But it's more people within places of some form of power which are the people who are much more likely. Oh, I'm really just incriminating Kovac at this moment. Who are much more likely to use magic for their own benefit.
I understand that my conduct was seen as improper. I will investigate avenues in which to make amends to those offended.
Plus,
Is that a satisfactory answer?
you also owe Thog an apology.
I'm not
Thog?
allowed to drink there anymore.
Thog? I am sorry that you think you aren't allowed to drink there anymore.
Kovac, try again. That's not the right way to go about it. And you know that.
Has Thog tried to drink there again? He doesn't know.
You
I've
have
seen people kicked out of
inconvenience.
that place before for lesser stuff.
Okay.
I have a really weird question. If I cast Enhance Ability on Kovac to help her with her her charisma or wisdom checks, would she gain that sudden little bit of, oh, clarity?
Thog,
I
am
was
sorry.
being rude. Oh my god.
Thog, I am sorry that my conduct has negatively affected you. I will attempt to make amends.
All right.
That is better.
And Kovac, I'm going to say thank you as well. One, for that. Two, we did end up getting answers through the method. So you did assist, so I thank you. And Storm, I'm going to thank you as well for being a good voice of reason. And Mug, I thank you for not actually murdering that person. Thog, thank you for rejoining us. We have missed you. And you're good too, Xantex.
Storm makes a face. It's of distaste.
I'm not fully rejoining you. I'm just along for.
No, but you've come back to say hi to us. We've seen you again, and it's been very nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Not saying you're gonna join back up and things like we're all very quick because of lots of things that have gone on to say. Gets like a rolled up newspaper, like bad Xel'nari, bad, or something like that. But we do also forget to remind each other that we are good at what we do. There's just a lot of stress. Now you all do I've seen people do group hugs, so you all get onto that, and I'll just stand over here.
I'm not especially interested in that either.
We'll do the like pat on shoulder situation, like well done, but I can only get as high as like your inner, like your outer thigh, not I forgot there was an outer part to a thigh. Okay,
Samantha.
That wasn't Samantha. That's me. I genuinely forgot there was another thing to a thigh than the inner. Like, oh no, outer. That's what you want. I've only had one coffee today. Okay.
And I'll send a little telepathic message to Kovac as well, saying part of the reason I bring this up is that, for good or bad, the others in this team look to you for leadership. If you were going to lead them, rather than just try to manage them or like push them in the right direction, they need to believe that your actions are correct and they will follow by example. It is not easy, but if you don't do it, who will? And so for the good of this team and the good of this world, someone needs to provide that. I think it is you. I think you can do better. Please do so. And then Mug will sort of walk over to the others and go, I hear the food here is pretty good. I haven't had a chance to try much.
I don't know. I'm really hungry.
Oh, I know of a good
Actually, when was the
restaurant.
last time we ate?
Come, I'll show you to a nice place in the Weavers district.
You know what? Yes, Antics. Yes, please lead the way.
Is it
I
more of that
suppose.
meat on a stick? That was pretty good.
They do. It's a restaurant that does have meat on a stick.
I mean, I'd like some veggies on a stick if I could get some.
There-
We could
it's-
probably
it's
do
a
with
fu-
some actual vegetables,
It's a
water
full-blown
in our
restaurant
systems.
with many different courses available, both of meat and green.
All on a stick.
Some on
Every
a stick,
single one.
some on a plate.
Mm.
Come, I'll show you where it is. Come.
Yes, please lead on.
I'm going to just assume that Tanzanite, being a big port coastal city, is well known for its seafood. So I'm
Yes.
sure there's some sort of...
Definitely a lot of seafood. Definitely a lot of cultural foods as well.
Storm will get excited at some seafood. She loves her seafood, obviously, coming from an island.
Well, she loves the seafood and eat it, yeah.
And being a cat.
Wow.
Ow.
Why would I say something so controversial yet so brave?
All right. So, you're going to get a nice meal, relax, and spend some downtime.
Yeah. I'll walk behind with Kovac, just kind of do the whole like pat, and then just kind of be there.
She like her resting expression is like the maths lady with all the equations that are kind of flying around. She looks deep in thought, but appears to be struggling.
Note to self: buy a book for Kovac called "How to Make Friends and Keep Them."
How to not piss off.
How to make friends and influence people. It's an actual
Yeah,
book.
literally.
I know.
How
My
to
bug.
how to not
I got
piss
given
off
that
your
book
local.
once as a gift. I was mildly offended.
Yeah.
How to not piss off your local drug mule.
The local underlord boss, yeah.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Yeah. How not to insult the Orcish sopranos.
You come into my house on this day.
Drink my beer
And polymorph my patrons.
and polymorph my on the day of my son's whatever the Orky like thing is.
So, I know there was a lot that you wanted to do in here, so in order to expedite, how much time do you spend just downtime, relaxing, and not worrying about the things that need to get done?
Storm will at least spend the rest of the afternoon getting food. And
I think the rest of the afternoon, proper downtime to reflect, rest. Obviously, if anything comes up during that, still some Sam's like always paying because they're a nosy sod. But this would be a good time, I think, for us to just chill and I'm gonna hate saying this. Storm's gonna hate me saying this. Get to know Xantix.
Storm disappears with Thog. She's gone.
We'll do it again when Storm's back. We'll make sure of it.
She's asleep. She disappears into her compass.
That's even better. So during those periods of time, Sam just whispers into your ear. It's like when people try to like listen to things to go to sleep to learn, Sam's just gonna be like whispering to you and like
Subliminal
feeding
messages.
you. Yeah, I should have been doing that all along. I should have been doing that all along. That would have been great. Ah.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
The influencer we didn't know we needed.
So, coming
If
to
anyone
late,
in this party was going to be an influencer, it'll be Mug.
coming later into the afternoon, you've had some downtime, had some food, gotten some relaxation in. What is your next course of action? As you won't get a report back from Hollis until the next day.
I have a question, Ash. Because we would receive reports that need to get sent to HQ, how would we send a report like Kovac's giant dossier that she placed on my desk? How would that get transferred to HQ?
They have something similar to a teleportation circle that allows sort of one-way, sort of two-way transportation of items.
Because Xantix would probably then prep that. So that's the report of everything that's happened, has it, Kovac?
Yes.
Does that include the report about Thaliza conduct with slaves, with the slave hunters?
Yes.
To know.
You mean the war crimes?
She gave him 2 options, and he wanted his conduct to be on the record.
Yep.
Just making sure, because Xantix would then go and prep and have that sent off.
Alright.
So we haven't even just realized about the dream thing. We haven't even told Xantix about the dream. So
You did not tell
yeah.
me.
Nope.
I think Kovac would want to see her parents, for sure, but would also be interested in introducing her team to her parents as well.
Dinner maybe with your parents?
Storm will disappear to find fireworks, but she will be under the guise of, I'm going to get food with Thug.
That would definitely take place during the day. This is looking in.
And she will disappear until she finds fireworks and won't come back until she does.
Oh, you can definitely find fireworks. It will not take you
So,
long to find somewhere. that
10
sells
minutes, I
fireworks.
think she's gone for. 10 minutes?
In fact, if you were to ask a certain Xantix, he might be able to direct you, as they use the same materials that he likes to dabble
She
in
asks
as well.
Thug, and if Thug doesn't know, she will just wander till she finds them.
Thug
I
has
would-
no clue.
I would
We're
find it
all still
amusing,
petulant children.
I would find it amusing. She actually walks into the first store like after like 2 hours, and Xantix is there just doing like a general like updating of supplies.
She walks straight back out and finds somewhere else.
Oh my god, so petty.
She is
So
petty.
petty.
Storm is petty. We know that Storm is
We
petty.
know! Takes us back to
Just
the lies
remember,
village.
folks. Just remember, folks. This is all the cat, not the gnome. This is the cats.
So do you regroup later
Hey, the
on
gnome
and
is
then
doing
head
some
to
small
Kovacs?
bits.
If people are interested.
Yeah.
Well,
If there's going to be a dinner,
I would've-
I'll do a sending to anyone who's not around.
Yeah, I was going to say as well. I would have mentioned I'd be back at the HQ just finishing off some reports
Yeah.
that need to get sent in.
So you'll regroup outside the Vidalcan Quarter.
Ah,
I'll
it's
come
good to
along.
be
That
home.
sounds nice.
Yeah. So the Vidalcan Quarter is similar in design to the rest of the education sector in that all of the buildings seem to have a purpose to them. There's not unnecessary architecture or design to them. They are a little bit more plain than the rest of the area, but they have definitely taken into consideration the preparations for the festival that is coming up. So they still have their banners and tapestries around, and are displaying flowers in their windowsills and such, to beautify the city as part of the tradition. You can see that more so here than anywhere else in the city that you've been so far, there is clear use of the steam-powered machinery to do even the most mundane of things. As Kovac takes you to the Vidalcan Quarter itself, there is even a gate that leads into like the main courtyard area where most of the houses are built around, and this has its own gate that is steam powered, and upon you approaching it, it opens itself up, allowing you through, and then closes itself back behind you. A little bit of it seems unnecessary, but it is clearly a display of their technological advancements. As you make your way to a small corner house where Kovac and Kovac's family live.
We get to see Kovac's childhood room.
So
It's so well organized.
It's got a picture of the one and only Vidalcan boy band.
No direction.
Oh my god.
No, it's one emotion.
Oh
And
my
the only song is
god.
called Serious.
No, guys, clearly it'd be Blue Street Boys.
Sorry?
Be the what,
Blue
sorry?
Street, Blue Street Boys.
Yeah, their song
Blue,
is
double
Organized
double
Paperwork.
die.
Like, what?
Organized Paperwork is their hit song.
Organized paperwork is our aim. Organized paperwork is our game. Oh, yes, it's fun. Look
Yeah.
at our faces.
I'm blue, double dee double die, double dee double die, double dee double die.
These are canon. These are canon. Why
Well,
not?
listen
Screw
up.
it.
Here's the story about a little guy who
Little
lived
guy
in
who
the
lives
blue
in
world.
a blue world.
Yeah, you approach the door. I'm gonna turn off Candlekeep because I think it's a bit somber for your house.
If anyone out
Inside
there
and
also wants
outside,
to join in the game of Vidalcan boy bands, please put it in memes or somewhere that we can see them. Feel free. We have a Discord. Plugging ourselves there.
I'm
In our
trying to
own
work on one
Twitch
which is
channel.
West Tanzanite, born and raised.
On a
So,
police call. That's where I spent most of my days.
Most of my day.
So, you make your way to the door. Kovac, how do you enter? Do you knock? Do you just let yourself in?
Do we need to find a dead fish for you to tell your father we're coming through first?
I think our approach would just be approach the threshold and give a very particular special knock.
Is that it? Just bang. I mean, that's the most Vidalcan thing. Sorry, no, this is the most Kovac thing.
It's true.
Does
Well,
Kovac have
listen up.
siblings or is Kovac an only child? I can't remember.
Only child as
She's
far
only
as we
child.
know. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Um,
goodness.
There is exactly 10 seconds before you hear the door unlatch, and your father is standing at the door.
If it's systematic locks, at least 12 of them or something they have to go through.
He is dressed rather plainly. There is still some hints of embellishment upon his uniform that state that he is a member of the courts. So it seems, actually, Kovac, since you have last seen him, that he has moved up a little bit within the rankings. He has an extra little sigil upon his lapel, signifying that he has moved up and is not quite in the inner circle, but he definitely works with the higher ups of the courthouse. So a bit of a promotion upon himself. His uniform is in perfect, immaculate condition. There is not a crease upon it. And his hair is in a similar style of mohawk, like Kovac, except it is kind of combed and gelled to one side to attempt to look slightly more businesslike.
And more hair than he actually has.
A little bit.
Everyone knows that
A
trick of trying
mohawk
to move
comb
their-
over.
Yeah.
Vidalcan do not have a lot of hair, if any.
Oh,
at all.
yeah, they're quite... Yeah.
There is a few seconds where
Custom.
he looks Kovac up and down, looks over to the rest of the group, and takes a step back, opening the door wider, and goes, "Enter."
Thank you. And she walks through.
Sam will walk in and be like, what's Kovac's last name again?
Royazi.
Riazi?
Mr. Royazi gives a little bow and kind of moves on.
He gives a slight head nod to each of you as you enter the premises. There is a slight look of concern upon his face as Storm enters, as he sees the mass amount of fur upon her.
She greets him happily and goes, "Oh, hello!" And then nuzzles her face against his shoulder as she walks past.
Who has prestidigitation?
My father has prestidigitation.
He simply prestidigitates to clean his uniform and is like.
He's gonna be
waves his
watching and
hand
be
over it.
like, where's she been? Presti, 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 presti.
Greetings, all of you. It has been wonderful to meet you in person. Kovac has taught me so much about you. If I could just have just a moment of time to speak with Kovac in private before we carry on.
I'll whisper into Storm's head, it might be an idea not to touch anything in this place, just in case.
Storm's about to respond like, yeah, huh? And then turns to Sam.
I think sensing that, Quebec would say, Storm, look. She'll kind of wave her hand, and one of many switches on the wall goes ka-chunk, and a ceiling fan just goes.
Don't touch it, Storm. Don't touch it, Storm. Don't touch it, Storm.
What?
You are
playing
with fire there.
She walks straight over to it and is like, bap, 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 bap.
That should keep her busy. Father, your office or mine?
Yours is fine.
Yes.
And he makes his way over to where your previous study used to be, which also
Just
doubled
before
as your bedroom.
she goes, Kovac will hear in her head, you made this happen. If anything breaks, it's your money.
As soon as he closes the door, you hear, "Oh, forgive me," and just immediately wraps his arms around you in a very, very rare display of affection from Verdelkins.
This is why it's behind closed doors. No one else can see. No witnesses.
Yes. It lasts for only a few seconds, but it is enough for him to convey the fact that he has definitely missed you.
Yes.
As he steps back and then quickly affixes his suit. I trust you are well.
Yes. Are you?
As well as can be. It's a bit lonely in the house of late, since your mother has stepped out on her expedition. But did I not tell you about it?
No.
She left 3 days ago. Yes.
Where is she traveling to?
She has heard word that the Black Death has been spotted, and so her, along with several other of the Collegium, have sent out an expedition to see if they can find it and investigate it.
Isn't that the machine that we encountered?
It is indeed the machine you encountered, the one that fired lightning bolts at you.
Well, that's Sam.
Kovac would go. The Black Death, you say?
Yes, yes.
Would it look like this? And she'll conjure a minor illusion of the device we encountered?
To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't have the foggiest. It has been mostly rumors and speculations, but she has shown a bit of an interest in it, and so she has headed out.
Well, my team, I believe we have also had an encounter with said device.
And upon her return, she would be most interested in finding out about it, no doubt.
I hope that her work is fruitful.
Shall we rejoin your friends?
Yes, of course.
Good. I imagine that there is much to discuss, and I believe you still wish to establish a line of communication with the Queen, if possible.
Indeed.
I have not been, as of yet, successful in teeing something up. There is talks on the way, but it is not finalized just
Fair.
yet.
May we stay for dinner?
Of course, I will arrange something.
Excellent. If you
Sorry.
require my assistance, I may lend aid.
Of course, that would be most accepted, as your mother is not here.
When you guys come back out, by the way, you come back out to Storm hanging from the thread. Yes, yes, yes.
And it's just Sam being just looking at Kevin and be like, I told you so.
But it's not
And
just
fair-
hanging from it like this. Hanging from it like this with her feet trying to be all
Yeah,
like...
with the feet.
I'm
Storm,
just-
make a DC 17 strength saving throw.
Ooh.
Someone's using telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's not so bad, maybe. Hang on.
I was trying to use produce flame to make a little red dot somewhere on the ceiling. That she
Let me pull up my character sheet. DC 17, you
17.
said?
Yes.
That is a 15.
I used telekinetic shove and push you 5 feet off the fan blade and onto the floor.
Valid. Oh, we had a long rest, didn't we?
You did.
Yes.
Yes. We
So
build
it's
things.
not quite so lethal.
Yes. We build things to last in the Vidalcan
You just hear "Meow!" as she lands on the floor. Perfectly fine,
That's about right.
she cannot take damage from a fall that
Mhm.
small.
Of course.
Thank you. Did you take your sticks from it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. We are to stay for dinner. Everyone, make yourselves at home.
Be careful with the wording of that.
Storm's sitting on the floor already licking herself. Grooming. Pretending like she didn't just almost stack it.
Knowing full well that Father will likely be keeping to a dietary regimen, she will take the time to conjure an unseen servant, hand him a shopping list and some money, and send him off to do some shopping from the local market.
You can already see that several cups are currently being moved around, seemingly through thin air. Clearly an unseen servant of its own. Currently making teas and coffees for you all. He turns to you all and, please, allow us to retire to the conferencing room. Which, upon entering, you see is clearly just a lounge room of sorts, where there are several quite comfortable-looking chairs that you can sit down upon. Upon sitting upon it, Storm, you would enjoy the fact that you kind of sink in a little bit into it. It's one of those very squeegee chairs.
I feel like
So
she
one of those
doesn't just sit in it, she curls up on it.
Is that one of those beanbag or something that as soon as you sit in it, you just goes into it?
It's those
Oh,
thick
no.
couches where you kind of suck back into it.
I can just imagine now Paul's antics.
Oh, that's how a nomicide happens.
And that's how the nomicide
Suffocated
count
by
goes up,
couch.
and our player count goes down.
He gets eaten by the furniture.
It's a mimic. The unseen servant brings a tray around and distributes teas and coffee to everyone.
Storm will just take the jug. I presume there's a little like jug of milk, and she'll just have a cup of milk, or just take the jug and drink from it.
Kovac has kept me up to date with a number of your antics while out and about, but I understand that it is generally seen as common practice to exchange pleasantries and stories of your travels. So please do enlighten me. I am most curious to see what my young Kovac has been up to. From not her words.
Oh dear.
First of all, how much do you know? In Kovac, how much should we say?
I have informed Father of the broad strokes of our adventures, though I do advise you all. He did voice some objection upon my initial nomination, as he feared for my well-being. So if you could avoid anything too dangerous or harrowing, that would be appreciated.
Okay.
Are you saying this in front of him?
Yes.
We have kept a very healthy distance from all dangerous things and made sure Kovac has stayed very far away, and she is always at the back of the fight, therefore always safe.
Please. I understand your concerns, but I understood what Kovac was getting herself into and have accepted that there will be dangers. I wish to know the truth behind what she has been up to.
We all
I'm
just
not
have that
nearly
one little
as
look,
fussy
like,
as her mother.
Well, she tried to steal a book.
At this, he kind of raises an eyebrow and looks towards Kovac.
Not just one.
Steal a book.
That is one way of looking at it. It was an educational enterprise, and I think, Father, you would agree that the item in question is extremely interesting. Could you produce the book in question, please, Storm?
Pulls, what's her name? Hilda? Hilda?
Yes, I think so.
I believe it's Hilda.
So,
From her boobs.
Kovac attempted to steal the book, and you successfully stole it.
No, it is mine.
Kovac, why are you stealing from your own party members?
Bruna.
Mm.
The book, I was not attempting to steal. I was attempting to understand. It is a lot more convenient linguistically to describe my actions as stealing. However, it omits a large amount of the nuance present in my action.
Okay, let me make it in fancy word like Kovac. Hang on, wait. I can do this. Kovac tried to discreetly, without anyone noticing, retrieve the book from under our noses so that she may investigate it with potentially no intent of returning it once she had. Is that better, Kovac?
You're getting rather good at common.
I've been spending too much time with all of you.
Good. I was attempting to determine whether or not a book that I had located was indeed a powerful magical item. Upon determining its nature, I would have, of course, discussed it with my team.
Kovac,
Wait, you forgot to mention something. It was the inheritance of Storm's mother that you took. You took the gift from a dead woman from your friend.
No, okay. Let's make this a bit easier, I suppose, to understand. Kovac took liberties.
it's okay. All is forgiven and lessons were learned, we think.
Yes.
Kovac, my dear,
Father?
what have I said to you before?
Yes, Father.
The pursuit of knowledge is of the utmost importance, except what?
Except if it is going to wrong someone, such as a friend.
Mm-hmm. I hope we do not have this talk again. And you kind of get the idea that this is a Videlkin version of a scolding.
Yes, Father.
But other than Kovac's unhealthy obsession with acquiring knowledge, Kovac's been really good. And she is actually a very wonderful friend. I'm really grateful that we
She's
have
been
Kovac
making
with us.
friends too.
This is true! Did you tell him about
She made
your
a very
friend?
good. Yeah. The tiefling.
Oh, you have another friend that is not part of this cohort. You have not told me of this.
Oh, yes, the air quotes friend, and that's literally how
They
Sam
were
says it.
briefly roommates.
Father, I had a rather pleasant evening with a like-minded intellectual.
A romantic escapade, one could say.
At this, he gives a sort of knowing smile for a moment before his face turns back to normal. Ah, yes. To be young again. I trust it went well.
Indeed. In fact, I'm. Yes.
Do you intend for it to continue?
That would be preferable.
Very well. Then, at your earliest convenience, I wish to meet the person in question.
They are a continent away, unfortunately, Father. But seeing as there is an interconnected teleportation circle network active between here and Xel'nari HQ, should time allow it, it was my intention to pay a visit.
Fantastic. Very well.
If you would wish to have a message sent to them, I can arrange that this evening.
I will. We will see what news tomorrow brings.
That was directed at your father, Kovac.
Don't. I would recommend that you leave Tia out of this, please.
No. I trust my Kovac that she is taking all the necessary precautions to make sure that both parties are safe and that no feelings are hurt in any way, shape, or form.
Of course. She knew that after our encounter, I would be traveling for some time.
So, I understand you wish to seek an audience with the Queen.
Indeed.
I will need to know a bit more about what the intended conversation is, as I must present this as a plea to the court to establish your audience.
We wish to apologize to Her Majesty for our failings in being unable to secure her item.
What ended up happening to that? Is that chest still in the bottom of the ocean, basically?
It was on the ship, and the ship ran into an island.
Hmm.
Potentially at the bottom of the ocean, potentially halfway up a underwater pyramid. Don't know exactly.
And yes, it was unfortunate how that transpired, and I'm unsure of how much the Queen has been made aware of its activities, and would not wish for our failures to be constituted as a diplomatic incident.
If I understand correctly from what you spoke of the situation, you were merely passengers aboard the vessel. I cannot see it being your incident. You attempted to recover the item from the attack, did you not?
The item was successfully recovered from the grasp of a kraken. Unfortunately, due to a separate incident, it was lost. And that incident is on our shoulders. Or rather, mine.
I do not believe the courts would see it this way. It is understood that you were attempting to salvage the item and return it. Having lost it since then is not through your negligence.
Of course. Well, Father, the hope is to find a sufficiently convincing reason to gain an audience with Her Majesty. We are very concerned that there may be demonic influence in her court and wish to confirm that with our own eyes.
I can safely say that there has been some investigation into such, as the Xel'nari had informed that this could be a concern, and no such influence was found, but I understand you have had a little bit more interactions with such that, so I can understand your desire to investigate yourself.
Yes.
Ah, your servant is back. We have ingredients. Allow us to cook, prepare a meal.
Yes, good.
I will leave you to speak amongst yourselves for the moment. Do not worry, Kovac. I will see to it. You clearly require some downtime.
Indeed. As we cook, Father, I would love to compare notes. My spellbook has grown quite a bit since my departure.
Very well.
So she'll be like in the kitchen with her dad, just like preparing a meal and talking shop for wizards. Being all like, I can make a wall of force now, Dad. Are you proud of me?
He does seem to be genuinely proud of your accomplishments.
Good.
Upon sitting down for your meal, it is a shame my wife was not here to make sure she was very keen to meet those who had made up the cohort of Kovac and had kept her safe for such time. She would have been most interested in meeting you. Sorry, I did not catch your name, and he's turning towards Antix.
Oh, sorry. Xantix. I'm part of the local Xel'nari headquarters here. I've temporarily teamed up with Kovac and her squad while they're here.
Yes, Kovac had not informed me that you had someone of your talents within the party. Otherwise, I'm sure she would have been dire to know more information about you.
Oh. Yes, I've only been with the party for about a day now, but it has been quite interesting getting to know your daughter. She's a very fascinating person.
Father, do you believe that Mother would consent to Xantix seeing her workshop?
Yes, of course. I cannot see any reason why not. Fellow artificer, not a problem.
Indeed. Xantix, Mother normally did specialize in some artistic pursuits, or rather, that was one of the minor contracts that she held, was the creation of certain tinkered toys. I'm unsure of if her contracts have changed since my departure, though.
No, not much changed. Although she had gotten a small fascination, as I did describe with the Black Death, as there's been a few more sightings of lately, and well, as you know, it is a bit of an artificer legend of sorts, and a large steel construction able to move itself across the terrain and dig in and out of the ground and fire lightning bolts at people. Preposterous. I mean, such a device would be capable of leveling cities. And so she has been dedicating herself to investigate it.
Indeed.
It is a shame that for such a destructive force, it has such capacity for changing the landscape for better. Of course, think about it. Instead of having people drive carts from the back of animals and that, having this metal machine able to drag large loads behind it with minimal effort. I feel like that would make such a difference in change the landscape of the world forever.
I am happy with my island. I like traveling by island.
Yes, but not everyone has access to an island to travel that travels by itself, of course.
Indeed.
Also, it is hard to go overland by island.
That is true.
Mathematically, one could surmise that only the 1%, as it were, have such means to travel via island.
Well, technically the island can travel across land. It just is much better in water.
I asked the island specifically to travel across land, and it said no.
It said it can, but would not be efficient time travel.
Worth it.
Fucking hell.
I love also how that was a meta joke from Zoe, because it's Kovac probably wouldn't understand the humor in it.
Yeah. Yes, well, if you wish to step into Kovac, if you wish to take your friend into your mother's lab, then by all means, I wish to continue discussing with your friends here, your compatriots.
Of course. Right this way. She will gesture towards a door that I think would probably be like built off the kitchen, because it's like the equivalent of a garage workshop. So she'll gesture that the door will just swing open, and we'll go inside.
Yep. Xantix will follow, eager, like looking like a child that has been promised a candy store.
I don't know how much would really be in here, but she'd probably have like, you know, workbench, some precision tools, a small but pretty versatile kiln. So not large, but probably something with which you can have a more precise control over the temperature inside. And would probably have a few different devices connected to the like band system, including one of those like automatic blacksmith hammers where you just put a hot ingot underneath and it goes ting, 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 ting. I think Kovac would point out almost immediately up on a very well organized shelf. There's just like a progression of mechanical horses that were given to Kovac as gifts as she was growing up. The first one is just like a carved piece of metal in the shape of a horse, and the one at the end, after many different iterations, is a horse where she picks it up, kind of winds a cog in its back, puts it on the ground, and it begins to trot across the floor in a very like convincing horse-like way.
That's quite impressive.
You more so than Kovac notice Xantix, as you are drawn to it, a toolkit sitting upon the desk. It's kind of a little bit off to the side where something was in the process of being constructed. The toolkit itself seems to be a tinkerer's toolkit, but a very ornately carved and crafted one. It seems to be quite expensive. Your eye is just drawn to it as it is in almost like immaculate condition. You can see clear signs of use, but the care and repair and upkeep of it is to another level. It definitely draws your eye as you look over the desk and look at the different apparatuses that you see before you.
Well, your mother knows how to take care of tools, so that's definitely a plus in my eyes.
Yes, of course.
And to you, Kovac, that is odd.
Oh.
As your attention is drawn to your toolkit, to your mother's toolkit, as you have never seen her leave the house without it, and yet it is sitting here upon her desk.
Oh, interesting. What was she working on before she left? What's around the toolkit?
Around the toolkit is just simply discarded pieces of material of cogs and such of what she was working on designing. In front of you, in front of the table, is it seems to be a torso of some description for an animal probably about the size of a house dog that was in the process of being constructed. It seems to be interesting to you is that most of it seems to be made of wood rather than of metals. But you can definitely see mechanical cogs within it that would operate arms and legs that have not yet been attached to the device. It is, even by your mother's standard, a pretty decent work of art that she has been working on. It's taken to a new level for you.
Very pretty.
Me looking at it, would I have an idea of what she's trying to make?
It definitely seems to be a bipedal creature of sorts. Not too dissimilar from your guardian, except on a much smaller scale, and of a much more intricate design.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of doing it like that.
Mother has a very unique way of doing things.
Yes, much more detailed than one would normally put into a work like this, but not that's a bad thing, of course, just means more work, but
But
I guess if she does it this way and then she does it that, and would then pay off, but then she has to do this, and you can see like Xantix is like just muttering it to himself as like he's like envisioning this thing in his head of like what your mother is trying to achieve, and he just goes on a tangent, seeming to forget that you're there.
I'll get you to make me an intelligence check actually as you look over it.
Yep. Would this be like intelligence and the use of my like Tinker's
Toolkit? Yes.
All right. In that case, then I believe I get to have double proficiency. I'm just double checking. Sorry.
That's all right. Just while you're double checking that, because I disappeared for a while, but it was whispered into Kovek's head. Oh yeah, we fought the Black Death. Remember that? That was fun.
She mentioned that to her father.
So I can't find anything for the artificer itself, but I do have in the artificer's lore as part of being a gnome at twice my proficiency bonus to history checks related to magic items, alchemical objects, or technological devices.
This is not a history check. It's not a thing of ancient design. This is a new modernized design.
Okay, no, that's all good. That's all good. In that case, then it's just yep. I just get to roll intelligence and proficiency.
And
How is sober?
Adorable.
That is a 20. You know what? I'm going to use one of my Flash of Geniuses reactions that give me an additional +5, so there's a total of 29.
Okay. As you look over the device, you notice that whilst the legs are not attached at the moment, the addition of what seems to be fibrous membranes within the torso seem to act as like artificial muscles of sorts. Whilst your creature is magically capable of moving, it is still fairly clunky. It's not like a fluid animal-like motion. You imagine looking at this, that this would actually be to a certain degree be able to mimic the muscle movements of a real-life creature, and would be far more fluid in movement. In fact, the torso itself is actually capable of proper full articulation along its spine as well. It's
fascinating.
Quite a breakthrough in the designs.
Oh, I didn't think we.
Oh.
Oh God, Kovek, your mother is a very, very clever person.
Of course.
No, you don't understand. Sorry, I'm really underselling this. This has never been done.
Sounds like, wow, that's rich. Someone telling Kovek, you don't understand.
You don't understand how smart your own mother is.
Like, have a close look. Have you noticed inside the membranes that almost look like muscle? That's something no one's really been able to master such a thing like yet. I mean, if I could have done that, I would have done that with my own, with Corin. But whatever your mother was working on here would be almost. It'd be indistinguishable from a living creature.
The other thing you notice is it's using a material that seems to be wood-like, but as hard as metal. But you have never seen this kind of material before.
I also don't know what she's using. It's clearly wood, but come feel it and touch it,
Yes, of course.
and if you tap it, you'll notice that it does not feel like wood. It's almost metal and metallic.
Interesting. Well,
maybe some kind of ceramic, but no, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, she keeps her offcuts over here, and she'll like turn to a very organized system of like bins, and we'll just pull one out and go, and just see if there are any like decent sized chunks or shavings from when she was sculpting the wood.
No, you don't find any.
Oh, that's odd.
It does not seem like she has carved or shaped the wood. Or at least, if she has, any offcuts have been discarded.
Interesting.
I mean, if your mother is working with something that's very rare, that's very smart. There's a lot of
She does have a few of her sponsors herald from the more luxury district. Her works have been recognized by some of the more wealthy people, which is why she was able to afford to live making toys. Perhaps someone chose to take her works a step further.
Perhaps this is almost in line with Korun, but much more detailed and sophisticated than I would have gone for. But I wonder. And he brings out a little notebook and he just takes some very quick sketches because Xantix would like to see if he could try and do something like this and improve Korun down the line.
Ash, how does my mother feel about people and about intellectual property rights?
It's a
Valid
bit late to be
question.
worrying about that now, Kovac. Just putting it out.
A valid question. Let's find out.
I mean, it's one thing to let you see it, it's another thing to let you take notes of it.
Exactly.
Yes, I think that would definitely be a key factor in this, is that whilst she is accommodating and is happy to discuss her works, it's probably something that she would keep to herself, especially something like this where it's clearly something she's been working on in private and has not been completed yet. Perhaps once it was finished.
So I am about to pull it out and start writing.
I think once Kovac catches on that you are writing, the like quill or pencil that you are using to take notes feels you would feel invisible hand-like pressure around your hand, stopping the implement from moving, and she'd say, "I don't think my mother would consent to this."
No, you're right, of course, and I will actually put it away. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, God, I wish I could ask her. She's, that's But no, you're right. I shouldn't take notes of her, especially when she's not on it.
Indeed. Since Xantix has kind of calmed down, I'm just gonna skim the room.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything look wrong, out of place? Are there obvious things that she also probably would have taken on an expedition that are still present? I'm.
Roll me a perception.
I would.
Please.
So if I say I would have already been kind of looking around as soon as you say that odd things happening. Sam's kind of doing a look. So can I give her the help
Well,
action?
I don't think we're there. I
You're
think
still
it's
back in the
just
room
Oh.
with
That is an 11.
You notice her traveling cloak is still hung up on the wall. Again, something that she would carry with her. But apart from that, there's nothing really else specifically stating that she would not have gone abroad. At least that you can see.
But things seem to be in order. It's like things are places that I would expect them to be, knowing my mother. Okay.
So it seems strange that she would have left without these items.
If you ask Storm to come in and help, she can help with stuff like this. Or the rest of the party could, in fact.
I'm more interested to know what Kovac's father's talking to the rest of the party about.
Well, they're just all quietly sitting.
There is a certain level of quietly sitting for a little while before.
Well, Mud would have been trying to do the polite small talk, sort of.
Okay, yes.
Just the asking some innocuous questions about the town and the weather and the getting an explanation of the upcoming festival. Just sort of things that Kovac's father will obviously know the answer to and will put any brain power into just giving the off-the-cuff answer.
Yeah. as you notice with his answers, Sam and Storm, you kind of notice that there's almost a sort of weariness to him that he's trying to hide. He seems almost to a certain point of exhausted, but is clearly trying to hide that by sitting up proper. You can
Very
occasionally,
guarded.
yeah, guarded. But as you can see, as he talks, there's the occasional times where he kind of like starts to slouch a little bit and catches himself, and then sits up proper again. And upon like closely looking at him, you can almost make out like bags under his eyes that he seemed to have potentially have used some form of concealment upon them. But you're kind of highlighted to it.
Yeah.
He did teach me disguise self.
Sam will kind of pipe up and be like, "So, what kind of hours do they have you working? I mean, it's from what Kovac was saying and what you kind of where you look now. It looks like you've maybe had some form of promotion, so that must be good. But what are the hours like?"
Oh, the hours are quite fine. No different to normal. It is hard work, but it is good, honest work. You know, being in the courts is where I have been most of my life, and will continue to do so. It's my passion. Obviously, with tensions rising on the borders, there has been some concerns, but nothing extreme. Why do you ask?
Oh, no, I was just kind of curious. Sometimes when you get bigger positions, they sometimes have you working extra hours, or you feel like you have to stay behind. Like Sam's obviously using the father's store run sort of as an experience, like kind of like levels of people. People end up staying later than they should to get deadlines done. Situations like that, and kind of
Can I do an insight
trying
check
to.
into him as he's talking?
This is the I have no. This is the. It sounds also way of saying I have noticed you look very tired. I'm trying to work out: is this a work-related thing, or is this a something else-related thing?
Also, when he mentioned about tensions at the borders, I wanted to do a just surface.
Detect surface thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without any somatic or verbal components, because psychic.
Yes. So you do a detect thoughts. You look upon his surface level thoughts.
Do.
You get kind of overwhelmed by just the sheer amount of information that is going through his mind at any one time. Of, did I fill out that paperwork? No, I definitely filed it. Was it under a 34E or a 34C? I forget. That's all right. I'll fix that up tomorrow. Well, I hope the tea hasn't been cooked too much. Also, this one here is a bit strange. He's giving off a foul odor. Oh well, if they're Kovacs cohorts, I can't really say much about it. It's kind of like all overlain over
Oh
the top
yeah,
of him.
Thog's with us, isn't he?
Yes. So
we've gone into the mind of someone with ADHD.
Yes, pretty much.
I say more OCD.
Yes, there is a level of OCD as well.
Both.
But there's nothing like nagging at him, nothing that would be saying that he is concerned about his workload or anything like that. Nothing out of what he is currently saying, though it is hard for you to kind of pick up the different bits and pieces as they're all kind of overlaying each other.
Sam will kind of continue on the questioning in a way of like, oh, so it works quite nice. But I mean, I'm assuming without having your wife around, it's business at home must be quite all on you, I suppose.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Is it normal for yourself or your kind or your people, or specifically Kovac's mother? She knew that Kovac was coming home, did she not?
Yes, of course. I had been telling her, updating her daily on what you had been informing us. Every conversation we've had, in fact.
It seems unusual to me, but maybe not to you, that Kovac's mother would not wait a couple more days before leaving? So
No,
they-
no, no. It's quite understandable. A discovery of this magnitude is something that you do not put on hold for personal reasons. I know that the Doken ways are seen as strange and outlandish to others, but this is how we are. We are in the
I
pursuit
can see
of
if Kovek
academic.
if
Apologies.
Kovek had the opportunity to get more knowledge or visit the family, she would make her apologies and then get more knowledge.
Of course, we would expect nothing less of her.
That's really unfortunate.
By our standards. But yeah, I'm
To
going to
us,
assume a lot more.
we see it strange that you do not seek to better yourselves and to gain knowledge. To
But of course
put the
we do.
frivolities of family and personal feelings ahead of the pursuit of knowledge is seen as strange and uncouth.
There has always been a dichotomy of the journey or the destination. It seems that the Delcan are more concerned about the destination, whereas other races believe that the journey of life, filled with experiences, joys and pains and emotions, are a more satisfying experience.
A fantastic way to put it, yes.
Because ultimately, for most of us, that journey doesn't end well. I would like to forestall my inevitable destination for many years to come.
Yes, and apologies to answer your question, young little one. 3 days. She has been gone for 3 days.
Is that normal? The amount of time that she's been gone for?
I imagine she'll be gone for several months in this current expedition.
So, what was she expediting again?
She is tracking down a sighting of the Black Death. It is a apparatus, a
Oh,
device
yeah,
of
yeah.
sorts. Yes, I do believe Kovac said you were familiar with it to some level.
Yeah, we fought it.
We have encountered it.
I'm sorry,
Well-
she omitted that part.
It wasn't a fighting of it. It was someone.
Well, it was a
snuck up
running.
on
It was a running away from it. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna like.
We encountered
metal contraption.
it very close and personal, but we
Yes.
did our best to disengage.
It definitely does react to
wheels?
heat metal.
Was that the thing that attacked the border to the Namaran nation? It busted through their border gate or something.
Yeah,
But
it was
busted
definitely
through
being.
both the Namaran and the Demu. Didn't
Yes.
seem to
By
care
what?
about either of them.
Yeah, by what I could see, it was potentially being controlled from the inside. I mean, it wasn't a creature. It was definitely not a creature.
Oh no, that's
But,
what we
I mean-
believe it to be, sir. It seems to be
Yeah.
some kind of advanced artificial design, and that is what has
It
intrigued her.
kind of reminds
was-
me of Xantic's creature that follows him around.
But it was.
You will see at that point because Corin is actually sitting out in the conference room. You just look up her.
It wasn't a distasteful creature. It was like a confused kind of. I don't know what to call this thing.
Yeah, yeah. But if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, it
She
was.
doesn't
it had
understand it very
something-
much.
It was trailing a carriage behind it. It was. So there was something it was carrying behind it. I can't quite remember. Oh, I did a very. I was using most of my energy to be hidden and run away from it. Yes.
I believe that Kovac showed me something along the lines of, and then he will produce an illusion of what Kovac had
Yes,
showed him.
that.
Yes.
I was definitely paying attention to everything that was being said at the table.
More wizards.
Most intriguing apparatus. It seems strange that something that is capable of pulling itself seems to have some kind of creatures or devices at the front that still are designed to look like they are pulling it.
Yeah, it's 'cause a lot of the locals, if I remember correctly, who had encountered that sort of thing, believed it to be a creature or some such, but they probably would have seen. You probably already made this assumption, but it sounds like it's been designed to deceive people at a quick glance. you see something in the dark, the way it moves, the way it has the glowing eyes.
Yes.
It's very easy to trick farmers, locals, to stay away from it.
Yes,
Well-
according to Triel, it is all the sightings of it have been only at night time.
Yes.
It was quite intimidating, and plus it did just like seemingly battle straight through 2 defenses on the border.
Yeah. Well, considering it sent out some weird electrical flying thing, I don't quite know what it was. It wasn't an animal. But it did react very well to heat metal. Unfortunately, that's why I had to run.
I see.
But it's good to know that it does the thing. Okay, I'm just gonna come out with it. You look extremely tired. Why are you hiding that from Kovac?
Roll me a persuasion, please.
It's gonna be bad.
Just come straight
Um,
out there.
Can I assist?
No point beating around the bush.
Can I assist him? Sorry, her with that. As Storm will also pipe in, going, yeah, I did kind of also notice this. Is it normal for a Vidalcan just to be like pretend to be okay? Because you don't look super okay.
Oh, I am so happy with my roll.
You
I am
have
so-
advantage as well.
Okay,
from
good,
assist.
good. Okay, well, not good. It could be better. It could be specifically one number better.
Oh, okay.
It was not. Okay, so for persuasion, which I have a minus in, a -1. No, -2, because my charisma is 6. I forgot that. How is my charisma 6? I can't. Oh, point by probably or something. So 17.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say the tagline: Vidalkin pretending to be okay is too accurate.
Yeah, I don't remember custom why my charisma is 6, but
we-
I think it was a point by a
No,
situation.
no. We all had one stat that was a 6.
Yes. That's
Oh,
right.
that's right. We did it slightly
We had
differently. It wasn't normal-
we had
it wasn't the normal-
standardized stats when we created our
So-
characters. One of the rolls or the numbers
Yeah,
was a
so-
6.
What we did to make things a little bit more interesting rather than just using a standardized point by was we did a roll for stats, but then use the same set of rolls for each character to make things a little bit more interesting.
I like
Okay,
having a
very-
good minus in something. So when you succeed, it's just like gonna use the best example, grog, sudden intelligence. Oh yeah, good. Oh sorry, my brain hurt. Like that little brief moment of like you succeeded, like yes, but otherwise you're just bad at it. So yeah, 17.
So
overall.
yes, he kind of looks at you for a moment and then just kind of deflates a little bit and just goes, "Please do not let Kovac know. It has just been hard to sleep of late. I sleep as much as I normally would, but I just do not seem to get the rest that I need. It is a passing matter, perhaps stresses of the court, or knowing that Kovac was finally returning home and I have not seen her for so long. I do not know the reason, but yes, I have not had the sleep that I require of late."
Can I? I want to do some form of roll.
I
Medicine, maybe.
Insight check that.
You can.
Um,
And is my detect thought still going?
Your detect thoughts would still be going, yes. You see at a surface level, yes, definitely had another one of those nightmares again. It's so strange. But that is all you get at the surface level.
I'll do an insight check.
I go over to him and it's like, do you mind if I just
Dirty 20.
take you over?
Um,
I'm a druid, healing.
you
Hi.
you get the feeling that he's being honest, that he's not 100% sure of why he's not been sleeping well. He's just tired and he's not sure the cause of it exactly.
Yeah. What I'm trying to work out is this definitely something going on. Maybe it's going to be a bit more awkward, but maybe mentally, or is there something weird and magical affecting his brain? Because we've dealt with bards, we've messed with people's heads, we've dealt with a fair few things. This genuinely could just be stress, but it's like I'm trying to do some form of check to kind of determine where it might be coming on. I also during the process, I would like to ask him, how long have you not been sleeping well for? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, well, and he kind of looks over his shoulder to make sure that Kovac has not returned just yet. It has been a few weeks now, but it's gotten definitely considerably worse in the last few days.
Since your wife left.
Yes, I think
Sorry,
that
went on the
there is a
expedition.
correlation to it.
Went on the expedition. She went to get the milk.
He went out for cigarettes and never came back.
Yes, I suppose that could be a contributor. Perhaps I have a level of concern towards her I have not acknowledged.
We only ask out of concern. We will try to keep it hush from Kovac. But we want to make sure you're okay because we care a lot about Kovac, and by extension, we care a lot about you because you mean a very, very big deal to her. Even if she does not outwardly say it.
I think at this point, you would hear Kovac's voice from the workshop going, "Father," and it sounds like she's walking back into the room.
And he is immediately just...
Cool. I'm still doing my check. My check. What would you like it to be?
So what are you looking for exactly again?
I'm trying to work out basically if this maybe is just a mental strain on him, or if there is potentially something a bit more magical going on, like what we found with the elves.
We'll go with
situation.
Arcana then.
Because
you're trying to determine if there is a level of magic to it.
That's fine. I have a plus in that. It is 10. To 10.
As far as you can tell, there is no magical influence upon him.
Okay, and there was something else I was gonna say.
Ash?
Yes.
I was gonna say, Xantix, knowing that Kovac's looking quite worried as she was looking around the workshop, Xantix was also just like to have a look around and see if something like, I don't know, if there was a sign of a struggle or anything like that in that case,
Okay.
especially if things have been put off.
Roll me an investigation as you have a look around. Or a perception.
I will choose investigation.
I think as much.
As you do.
Unfortunately, the halfling is not around, and I rolled a nat for a total of 10.
Isn't it only within 30 foot?
My spidey senses are tingling.
You would be within 30 feet. I'm happy to give you it.
Is that okay, Oddy?
Yeah, Sam kind of does a weird shiver and is like, ooh, that feels weird. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Someone had bad luck near me, not on my watch.
Never mind, I rolled another one, so clearly...
It is not meant to be.
It is not.
No, you have a look around the workshop. There doesn't seem to be any signs of any struggle or anything. Nothing seems to be out of place. In fact, as Kovac described, it is a very well-kept workshop.
Everything is exactly as it should be.
Justification for why it didn't work. All the benches are like 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
He just can't see on top of them.
I mean, he does have a height of 3'4", so yeah.
Yeah, no, like this place is so well kept that there isn't even a layer of dust yet, apart from like a day or two's worth that has settled since her departure. It is immaculate, so it would be pretty easy to spot something out of place.
So, Kovac re-enters the kitchen and just says, "Father, I noticed that Mother's tools were still here. Why is that?"
Peculiar. Perhaps she had forgotten them, or...
That seems...
I do not believe so, no. That
seems
seems unlikely of her.
highly illogical.
She did leave in quite a hurry. Perhaps she was... grabbed one of the toolkits from the Collegium.
With whom did she depart?
A few other members of the Collegium, of her task force, I would call it, of sorts, that has been studying the Black Death.
How long has she been studying the Black Death?
Oh, well, it has been a bit of a hobby of hers for some time now. Let's say 3-4 years of such that she has been keeping on top of the sightings of it. But it is because she was working with a number of the members of the Collegium, and they have been interested in it, which has piqued her interest in it. So when they came to her with a sighting, of course, she decided that it was the best course of action was to join and find this strange device. She believed it could lead to a breakthrough in her own designs.
Indeed. Mug, perhaps once we have a bit more time, you would be willing to attempt to reach out to her on my behalf. I know you are not familiar, but I am a little concerned.
Of course. You'll get a telepathic message saying, is it possible that you can ask your book to do a speak with mum instead of speak with dad?
She just shakes her head in your direction.
Wait, do you know of an item your mother would have had on her? Like, the thing that she always has on her, apart from her tools and things like that?
Yes, of course. Father, did she keep
Wedding
that?
ring?
She would wear that around her neck most times, given that she works with her hands.
Do you have a picture of it?
It is a matching union band of my own, and he will produce his.
Because I have locate object, and I could
1,000
potentially
footprints.
do with it. I know it's not a lot compared to
Wait,
this
you think
city,
she's
but I.
hiding out in the town?
She's not in town,
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah.
Well, she might be. You never know. This is the thing. Things might have happened. It's just like giving a point of reference for Sam. But Sam's also wondering: is there another item that maybe she only she had?
I did buy her a set of quills for her birthday the year I departed.
Just on the off chance, if we wanted to do a thing, I could potentially use locate. Sam says this out loud, use locate object to maybe get a bearing if we ever think we get close. So if there's a Black Death sighting, we might be able to find her. Just as an off chance. I mean, I can give it a go with the wedding band. I just know that there's technically 2 of them, so it'll go to the nearest. It'll show me. Does it show me just the nearest one, or does it show me how many there are?
If you are not specifically familiar with the item, so having seen it in person, then it will locate the closest thing of a certain group, like a piece of apparel, or if you were to go for example, locate drugs, it would locate the closest source of drugs.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that the wedding band, the union band, might be a bit more different if I saw a picture of it, if that would assist.
Just curious. I'm trying to imagine Xel'nari. I feel like she might have any unique piercings because Kvek has somewhat chunkier earrings. I think culturally there is more acceptance and use of piercings, and perhaps if there's portraiture of a wedding day, it might show a picture of her mum with I don't know, eyebrow piercing, nose ring, just a perpetual part of
Yeah, I don't know if that would be too wide still technically, because things can be made.
I will say you can attempt it, but as the wording of the spell is very specifically, you have to have seen it within 30 feet of yourself. You are not seeing the object itself, you're seeing a picture of the object, so there is a high chance that it will fail.
Or
That's
it'll
fine.
just ping the
I
picture.
think it's locate. True. I'm gonna just double check. It's a not concentration. It's a ritual.
It is a concentration. Yeah.
Is it a ritual? Is what I'm curious about.
I believe so.
No, it's just a spell. No, it's
It
just
is
a spell.
a 10-minute
It's
spell.
fine. It's fine. I'm gonna give it a shot anyway, just on the off chance. Just want to kind of see what happens. just kind of get a bearing on something that might assist. Because I know that I did it before with Kovac. That's because Kovac had a very specific book that I had seen. Just gonna give it an
I'm
on the
gonna
off chance.
roll to see if you are successful.
That's fine.
Okay.
If you roll a 0-1 on the percentile, the halfling luck kick in. I think it should.
DM's discretion with that one, I'll say.
I will say, for the faintest of seconds, like just a ping, you sense the object somewhere. It is not long enough for you to be able to tell the direction or anything like that. It is just you sense the object for like a split second and then it's gone again.
Huh. Yeah, because I wasn't too sure, because I know how these kind of works a bit odd. If it's one of those, like, if I had the ring in my hand, if I could tell it's like, oh yeah, it's like there next to me in an area like close-ish or further. So I'm trying to work if there was a way to gauge if it was like close-ish or like further. Cool.
It seemed distant.
I got something. I think.
Oh?
There was a connection, but it's kind of gone. So I don't know. Okay, so that's odd.
You're not sure if it's just a quirk of the spell failing to locate it because it is not the right thing.
Yeah. Or it's gonna be the person going literally out of the range, or it could be all sorts of things. Yeah. It's like I got a thing, but it doesn't seem to grasp.
I see.
So I don't. Odd. Okay.
Perhaps we can call in a favor at the Collegium and see if somebody would be willing to scry on her just to ensure her well-being.
Or see if they were sent with a sending stone.
Kovac, are there any plants in your mum's workshop?
Not workshop. On the roof, yes.
And possibly also on the windowsill.
We keep a lot of flower boxes and a few herbs and vegetables on the roof. Oh yes, Father. Will I be able to include my scarf in the most recent batch of dyeing, or has that occurred yet?
No, it is due to happen later this week.
Oh, good. And I will pull out like a pale purple scarf and go, here, what?
Yes. Was there anything else that we should...
What is the significance of the dyeing?
Oh, it is once a year, families will take flower petals from their roofs, take them down to a dye shop, and have a bright and have an outfit dyed a bright color. It's a bit of a tradition, and it has been quite a few years since I have been able to take part, and I would like to.
Is this Baruvian or Vidalcan?
Yes.
Baruvian. It is the festival that you are seeing everyone prepare for at the moment.
Yes. Everyone is going to be very brightly coloured and dressed during the festival.
Take locate creature.
There is such a thing as found family.
Yes.
Perhaps it'd be a nice thing for this group to do.
That would be an excellent idea. You're all welcome to do so, of course.
Do you have any items you wish dyed? What might the colour be this year, Father?
Well, we have a choice, actually. We have a lovely crimson that has been growing along the western wall, or we have a beautiful turquoise.
Ooh. Very interesting options.
Are either of them Xel'nari colors?
The turquoise is probably closest to Xel'nari.
Speaking of which, what are the Xel'nari colors? As
Blue
someone who
and
never did the training.
Blue and gold.
Blue, white, and gold.
Oh yeah, and the white.
Blue and gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps turquoise?
Of course, yes, that can be arranged. Do you have the clothing that you wish to have dyed?
When does this normally occur?
It will be happening at the end of this week. This is when the
End of this
festival will
week.
start.
Ah.
Yes, 4 days' time.
Excellent. I will find a elaborate hat to dye.
I will see if I can find maybe some new wraps for my arms. Maybe I can have colorful wraps.
I think you would look good in turquoise.
I'd like a headband. Because like, you look at Sam's clothing, and they don't got that big hood, like puffy clothing, but they don't really have plain white that could be dyed or something that it could fit somewhere.
All Storm has is her bandages on
I
her
got
arms,
bands.
like her arm wraps.
Yeah, we'll do bands or something. Yeah,
Your father looks to the wall for a moment and goes, "Oh, devils, look at the time. I'm sure you all require some rest. I shall see you to rooms if you wish. We have quarters available. It may be a little bit cramped for all of you, but it can offer some level of accommodation."
Yes.
I think
I should have room for one or two of you in in my chambers.
Oh no. I could not impose. I have accommodation in the Weavers District. I'll head over there and I can meet
Hydrate.
you at the headquarters tomorrow morning.
not a hydrate.
Oh, no, I insist. You're all most welcome.
An offer kindly accepted.
I would like to stay here if that is okay.
Well then, if Kovac gestures to a flight of stairs and says, second door on your right.
Just look at the stairs. Look at my legs. Back at the stairs.
Storm snickers slightly in the corner.
You know, Sam's in the exact same predicament.
No.
No, Sam can change into something big and just gallop up there.
Storm knows that Sam can
Changes
look
into a
after
bird
herself.
just out of pure laziness.
You just see Sam be like, "No, it's fine, it's fine." You see the person like hand lifting up a stair. Hand. No, they're not that big.
Well, we probably would have to use our hands just to like go, yep. Like the easiest way to do it.
All right.
There is something that Kovac will wait until she's alone with her father to bring up.
Just a bird. Just go. Whee!
Once everybody goes upstairs and says, "Father, I wish to retrieve an archive box from long-term storage. Is this acceptable?"
Of course, yes, definitely.
Right. If you need me, I will be in the attic.
Ah, yes. I understand. Very well. I think I will retire for the night.
Of course. I will see you in the morning.
While that was going on, Mug had cast invisibility. Stay around and speak. After
and
Kovac had gone.
Ah, yes, okay.
So
So
she
when
she goes upstairs and it sounds like she's pulling a step ladder from like a cupboard or somewhere.
telepathic message to Mr. Riazi a moment, and then Mug will drop the visibility spell.
Ah,
You mentioned difficulty sleeping. I didn't want to let other people know. I can try to assist.
oh, by
I
all
can
means.
cast a spell that can give you a degree of restfulness in only 10 minutes.
That
I
could
don't
be most useful.
know whether this will help, but it is a gift that I can give.
I would be most willing to give it a go. It has been affecting my work of late, and I would very much like to not.
I feel like Storm was
And also-
also waiting for Kovac to leave her father.
The whole party's just
Oh yeah,
hiding
and
in
at the
different
same
parts of the
time-
room.
Sam is also stealthing, hiding. What did I roll? 14 plus 2,000.
When
Yeah, I've just vanished. It's 25.
Storm isn't
Five.
stealthy. She just waits until Kovac is clearly not
No,
there.
I'm waiting for Kovac.
So,
I did roll a 25 on stealth, by the way.
Stomping up the stairs.
so
Yeah.
she at this point she like has entered the attic, and it sounds like she is moving around boxes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at that point, Storm will wander down and talk to her father. And
you
find
probably see Mug
probably
just walking away, and they look surprised as like you pass each other in the corridor. And just go, "Eh?"
Oh,
Also, it only gives a short rest, so it might not actually help out, but it's
Yeah.
something.
It's something. He's willing to give it a shot.
Oh, there are actually 2 things I can do for the father, so I will be sticking around as well when Kovac's not around.
Lesser
just realized-
restoration and
Wait, actually, no.
Father.
Can I do lesser restoration? Doesn't that involve something?
oh no,
Nope,
lesser
good.
restoration doesn't help with exhaustion. You need greater restoration.
No, but it's conditions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
There are some conditions that it might alleviate,
Storm,
and
we'll start with
dispel
you.
magic.
Storm will like saunter into the room. Like, Kovac's dad, can I speak with you for a second?
of course, you may call me Moda.
Is he asleep at this point?
Actually, yeah.
Or
If
do you
you've
wanna do
cast,
Storm's one first, and then I come
yeah,
in after. Would that
we'll
make
go
sense?
Storms first. Yeah, it'll make more sense.
Yes.
I thought you had to be there for the 10 minutes. So
Because Sam also wanted a
No, no, no.
thing.
It's an instant cast, and then they sleep for 10 minutes and get a short.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
so-
called a cat nap.
Oh, in that case,
I
I'm
know.
just going to be
Partially
waiting
be-
until he wakes
I
up.
know the
because it's
spell.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me.
All right. So, Storm.
Okay. Storm will sit down on one of the couches next to him or whatever and go, I can't help but be concerned by your lack of sleep. I know it may seem like small thing to you, maybe stress with work, but recently, I don't know if Kovac has told you, but we have encountered people who have been influenced or affected by, well, demons. And they have had effects on people who do not know that they have even encountered them. And so I cannot help but be concerned because, as I have said, Kovac is very important to us, and by extension that means you are too. I cannot help but wonder, when did your sleeplessness start? And what was happening around that time?
Oh, I could not pinpoint an exact date, to be perfectly honest. But it was a few months ago at least, and nothing out of the ordinary. It has just been work. I mean, I suppose it could be attributed to the extra workload of, things have been happening on the borders, and so the court cases have been piling up. My work has definitely increased for that. It could be attributed to, more recently of Triel going away on an expedition. It could be also attributed to, getting communications from Kovac. I could not possibly tell you exactly what it is.
You said it was getting worse once your wife left. Is this
Yes, I attributed this to just be missing her. I
what?
may be Vidalkin, but I guess I am a bit more old-fashioned and have some concerns.
What about your wife? When you started having sleeplessness, what about her work? What was she working on?
She's been working on the same project for some time now.
And what is this?
It is not for me to discuss. It is her private intellectual property.
Is it something that someone else has requested of her, or is this something she has worked on as personal project?
A little bit of both, actually. She's been working in conjunction with a partner she's been working with for the better part of a year now. And they are making some astounding breakthroughs in, well, I should not say it anymore. It's not my place to speak of.
Well, if I am perfectly honest, I don't really understand nor care much for the things that you guys do for your professions. It is all gibberish to me. What I'm more concerned or interested in is whether that has correlation to the possibility of external influences of people that are not okay. I think those words made sense together. It sounded like something Kalvek would say.
I think I understand what you're attempting to say, but I cannot see any reason why I would be singled out by these creatures or things that you have spoken of.
Well, your position among the political standing of the people here, plus I was not thinking that maybe you are a direct target, but possible that your wife may have been affected, influenced, or targeted potentially, and that you as a side effect have felt side effects.
I do not see why. I mean, her work has not been of any level of a political scale, and it is more akin to toys than anything else.
Well, depending on what it is, it's possible that it could have multiple uses.
I suppose so, but I
Look.
fail to see how a toy could be used in such a way.
All I'm gonna say is that fireworks are pretty and designed for stage, big shows in sky. But that doesn't mean that they can't hurt people.
Of course, if not used correctly, it is an incendiary.
So, look, I am just concerned. That is all. That is all.
I appreciate your concern. I do not think you need to worry yourself about it. She is just doing some field work and some research, and she will be returning within a few months, no doubt, when her research is completed.
Yes,
she
but
will
if
be sending back field updates, of course.
How do you stay in communication with her while she is away?
By letter, generally.
Hmm.
I do not like to bother her with ascending, though. If it is something important, then we can do so.
I only concern because things can change very quickly. One day you could be talking to someone who, is perfectly okay. And then the next day you realize that everything is on its head and everything is on fire.
I thank you for your concern, but you need not worry. If the matter is of such concern, then I can get in contact with Triel tomorrow and see how she is going.
Okay. And she gets up, pats him on the shoulder. Yes. Just make sure you stay okay, for Kovac's sake.
There. Good night to you. And as you walk away, he prestidigitations the shoulder to clean off the fur.
And she'll wander off to
Then
bed.
just as Storm leaves, he gets in his hand. Just a moment of your time, please.
There is you don't see it, but there is a twinge in his eyebrow of just
And this
Yes.
is why he doesn't want
So
guests.
Sam will appear from their hiding place and it'll be like, so we care about Kovac, and in turns we care about you. No, not doing anything going into that extra thing. Just like I just wanted to double check a few little things. Mostly there are two things I can offer to assist that might help, they might not, but it gives me peace of mind, and I'm sure it would give Kovac a peace of mind if this is what we would do. I have already, by the way, cast Fox's Cunning on myself to give me advantage on charisma checks, just in case it's needed, because my charisma bad.
okay.
The first one is going to be just casting a lesser restoration on him, just on the off chance it might assist with anything. So we've been through so many random bits and pieces that, like, at this point, Sam's just willing to just do anything. What's this? Is that the? Oh fuck! Yeah, this is all get on the dad. This is the dad train. So yeah. Lesser restoration is the first thing. Seeing how that goes, rejudging his well-being, and then if need be, I'll also double check. Do you have any current magical effects that you know of upon yourself? Glamours, anything heightening anything, just on the off chance that I should be aware of?
No, not that I can think of. Also, lesser restoration has no effect.
That's fine, because I'll then just I'll cast a dispel magic on his. Maybe for his head, because we've had the people with the elves, that kind of thing. I'm just going through the lining. I was kind of like the intention. I can cast spells through Mr. Nibbles, so I send the mouse up to touch it to be on his forehead. This is part of the process. It's perfectly fine. I can't reach his head.
As you cast dispel magic and nothing happens, he looks down to you and, what magic do you think was upon my head?
We've come across an entire civilization, basically, who all had some form of a modified memory attached to them, and I'm just double checking if it's something affecting your mental state. Not necessarily a modified memory, but just anything that might have been afflicting your connection to you. It's just...
As a word of advice, I would probably suggest using detect magic first to identify if there is something that needs to be dispelled.
Well, that would involve contacting Kovac.
My dad, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I can see where she gets it from. Yeah, just... thank you. Sorry.
I understand your concern. It is just some restlessness. Perhaps I should not have even brought it up.
Oh, anything is better than nothing with these sorts of things. Like, I don't know, what do you even dream about? It could be something maybe in your dreams that's causing this. Who knows?
The Vedalkins very rarely dream, and when we do, it is a level of statistical analysis.
Big numbers, got it. That's fine. But if you can think of anything, just, I don't know, it could help.
Very well. If I think of anything, I will let you know.
Thank you for letting
heading
us
to
in your
bed
home.
now.
No, I'm also gonna do where's Kovac? I'm just gonna leave.
She has made her way up to the attic.
Why is she in the attic? Oh, okay, I'll go there too.
He's gonna just kind of like say it to himself as you've already left. That is a private matter. But...
So I'm just kind of going boom, 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 boom. Also, I realize I have no idea where the attic is.
Kovac, what have you gotten yourself into?
So we can deal with that next time.
Now point where Mug
That's the point where Mug would have.
He's getting so tired of Krivic's meddling friends.
Alright,
I would have gotten away for it as well if it wasn't for your meddling friends.
So, Sam, you
The
head up to the
real
attic.
friends are the sociopaths your daughter meets along the way.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Sam will.
Hey,
I think we all know
away.
what the nightmares he's going to have tonight are. Just the party question him.
We care about you. We care about Kovac. Oh.
Emotions! Too many emotions!
It's going to be like that scene from Bloody Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on the boat.
No.
Right?
You know exactly what it's going to be. He's just going to look around and just go, no matter how many times I press the digitation, there's always more fur!
Okay. Ignoring his fever dreams now. That's going to be his paralysis demon. So, you're heading up to the attic after COVID.
I'm happy to do this next time if time is actually getting on as well.
Well, no, because there's something I need to do.
Oh no, I'm sorry!
Waiting for you to go to bloody bed!
Okay, do a quick thing. I'm just checking up on Kovac, and then
She is standing kind of in the center of the room. There's a pile of boxes. She has one like chunky archival looking box open and is currently going through it.
cool. Sam will skitter up into the attic. Just the head pops out. I don't come onto the landing and just be like, Kovac, you coming to bed?
You will hear the sound of the box snapping shut, and then she'll say, I'll be down in a moment.
I've interrupted something, haven't I? Knowing how very rigid Kovac suddenly gotten, and it's usually even writing in books and things, and it's the immediate slam like, we'll talk about this later. Okay, bye! And then I scurry away.
She inserts the box in the bag of holding, proceeds back down the ladder, will close the hatch, and will adjourn to her bed chambers.
She'll find a piece of pocket bacon on her pillow as I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh no, all the grease on the pillow now.
It comes out and it's fine. It's from the pig. It's the pig bacon.
It's basically
Where's the
jerky
little
at that point.
Alright.
Yeah, it's basically.
You all finally head to bed.
But what's the lie doing? No.
Moda attempts to head to bed, but is sitting there at the door just like, if anyone comes through the door, you know what? Cast a spell to seal the door magically so that no one can come in tonight. So that he will have...
You cast lock.
Yes,
Oh,
cast
hair
this-
flip.
Arcane lock.
Arcane lock.
Oh.
Okay, look.
My beard's not long enough. I don't have hair up here.
What can you flip? No.
Let's get a
Hey,
rabbit
Jester,
and
we're
set it
just
up in the
wrapping up,
end.
I think.
For extra protection,
Also,
he
hey,
puts
Jester.
Liam's tiny hut down as well, just to make sure that he is
Ah,
not disturbed.
my dad.
Your dad. I love
proud of him.
him. I love how
Um,
many migraines we're going to give him.
It's gonna be forced into an early retirement.
No,
Do
I mean,
Vidalkins go grey? Because he's going grey.
He's
Uh,
going the color
probably-
of seaweed or something like the
Actually,
darker
you know
kelp.
what? Vidalkins probably wouldn't go grey, they just go bald.
That's three. He counts them individually. 3 more hairs have come out. Ah, yes.
That's 36 since the end of last week. You make your way off to bed, getting a well-needed rest upon a nice soft bed. It's been a while since you've had comfort and relaxation, except for one of you. One of you has had a bit of comfort and relaxation. He's been in town for a little while, Santix. Except, oddly enough, Santix is the only one of your party who does not have a nice, comfortable sleep. His sleep is interrupted by nightmares of his own.
Don't you look like that, Kalan? Preempting
He-
this trauma?
He is in the middle of a snowstorm. He can see the flickering lights of a camp ahead of him. As you make your way through the storm, you can hear screams and crying out. You can hear a horn sound out as well, and voices calling out, but you cannot make out their words. As you start rushing towards the sounds, you can see large dark figures in the sky. Something towering, and it seems to be flailing about in the air. It reaches down towards the ground, and you hear a scream as another figure is hurled up into the air and then comes flying down into its mouth and is devoured before you. As you keep running, you feel like you're running forever, but you never seem to be getting closer. You see this happen several more times before everything gets quiet. And it's not till it gets quiet that the snowstorm finally eases off and you come running into your camp. The tent's destroyed. No bodies to be seen, but a clear fight has been fought. All of your friends are gone. And that is when you awaken in the morning, suffering 1 point of exhaustion. And that's where we'll end the game tonight.
I like to think that he wakes up gasping because Storm's tail is on his face.
But he's not with us. He's not with us.
I thought we were all sleeping in the same room.
No, Xantix went home.
Yeah, especially looking at the stairs, it was just like, nope.
He does wake up gasping as a piece of like your furs that's gone into his, like he's inhaled.
Just a bit that was left over on his outfit.
No, I did sleep here. Once it was really pushed forward, I just went, fine, I will take this.
Oh, you did sleep here then?
I did sleep here, yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know what room you were in. I was definitely in the room with Kovac. We'll deal that.
Is that or you
next
woke
time.
up to a robot dog licking your face?
Actually, yeah, probably.
Or Moto going, hey, how's it feel? How's it feel not getting a good night's sleep, huh?
He was the only one who did nothing! He was the only one who did nothing! We just have a bunch of unseen servants just like poking us. He's not dealing with us directly anymore.
All right. We will end our session there, so we will find someone to raid. But first, we want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us tonight. I hope you had some fun.
Yes,
I know
thank
I
you,
did.
thank you. I'm getting
Torturing
so
my players.
Father!
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 So, we need to find someone to raid.
That we do.
There is Paladin's Archive. How are they going?
Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for all the fun.
Ooh, Paladin's
chatting,
Archive has only
popping
just
in.
started. 13 minutes.
Oh.
Let's go there. I think we know where to go.
I don't know what that is or where that is, but ooh.
We have raided them once before.
It's okay. I'm just trying to find them.
It's, just put it in the chat for you.
Okay.
I just realised I was being a bit naughty. Catch is asleep, so I shouldn't be making too much loud noise. But I couldn't help myself.
It's fine. We're about to go.
So this
I
might be
think-
the last week that I'll be here for a couple of weeks.
Yes, we're
We're
gonna
gonna
have to
have a
manage
shopping
without
trip
Mug.
without
Oh
you.
no.
What trouble could you get into without Mug?
Wait,
A lot.
so
You know what? We're
What
good.
A
trouble
lot.
did you get out of without Mug?
wait,
Let's-
so Mick's not going to be here for a bit. Oddie, you're not available for the next 2 weeks.
In theory, yeah. Definitely not next week unless plans change. And then the week after, I'm gonna ask the boyfriend for once if I can actually steal the morning. He might be okay with it at this point. I don't know.
Fair enough. We shall see. My gosh. You know what? This was a much more chill encounter with our party member's dad than the previous one. Alice.
Hmm?
Yes, your
But anyway.
your one is not a god.
Should I put the? I'll put the raid up. Oh, it's already done, is it?
No, I was just waiting for conversation to settle before I popped us to the out screen, and then we will raid. Yes. Also, just because your father's not a god, that doesn't mean he isn't awesome.
Just because your father's a god still can make him a dickhead.
Oh, he's an absolute dickhead.
Stars without number, yes. That is a good question, Link.
Good question.
Yes.
Right. We will not have a Mikhail. It's
So no
Tuesday. No Pim. I will be available. I don't know how I feel about us running without everyone, just because it's like the end.
Yeah, this is
At
like
this point?
the end of the campaign. We're in the very, very final moments of our story here.
I have
We'll
my
have a
thoughts. I'll
discussion about
message
it.
them.
We'll work something
Yeah,
out.
you guys have a
Yes.
discussion. I'll message you some things, Zoe, as well.
Okay, sure.
It's the end of
Yes,
the glove Molotov. It's coming to a
Yes.
close, yes. So we'll be seeing how we go with that.
Indeed.
All right, but
So,
anyway,
okay.
for tonight, I'm going to put us to the end screen, and we are going to go raid Paladin's Archives. They are just about to start, so give them lots of love and support and all that jazz, and we will catch you in the next stream, whether that's this Tuesday coming or next Sunday is yet to be seen, but you'll hear from us. Y'all have a good one. Anyone have any last words?
We love you all.
Yay.
Bye.
Tell your friends.